Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to wake up. I was about 5 seconds late. I apologize. I was getting everything ready and I lost track of time. How's everybody doing this morning? Talked to Amit last night. What the hell is going? Of course, I have it open on another screen. Talked to Amit last night. He's currently on a plane, so he's going to miss everybody. And let's get to the market open, everybody. We got a lot of people here. We got the crew here in the streets. Joni, Rusty, what is going on? Chels is here. I want to know how many steps you got in. No Hollis. We will not be spoiled. No, no, no. Milk does not spoil. That's just a lie. That's just a lie. Marcus, what's going on? Tesla Granny, what's going on? Matt Money says I'm late to work. That's no good. I'm beneficial. What's going on? A lot of things happening this morning. Krupa, what's going on? June is here. June, you're up early. You're out there in Cali. I mean, I know that it's early, but I mean, if my math is correct, 5:47 and you're up, that's crazy talk. Crazy talk, ladies and gentlemen. Crazy talk. All right. Lot to get into. First off, did anybody see Ryan Cohen's interview on the All In Network with Friedberg about potentially acquiring eBay? And I hope everybody's got their coffee ready to go this morning. Tell you what, I got my bell ready. Oh, you know what? Let's get this out of the way. I'm not a financial advisor. Go figure. I am not your financial advisor. Do me a favor. Read the disclaimer. This is for entertainment and educational purposes only. Cactus Jack, what is going on? I don't know. Ryan Cohen has made some incredible moves. He built Chewy.com. It's really hard to listen to the guy. It was painful for me to get through that interview. It was very painful. I got to tell you, Starbucks is just, oh my God. I am a crackhead for Starbucks. I admit it. I am absolutely a crackhead for Starbucks. All right. One of the things that I found, let's look at pre-market first. And then we'll get into what I found interesting, all the stuff that's moving the market this morning. Tech is trying to come alive, ladies and gentlemen. Tech is trying to come alive. MU, as in Micron, MU trying to get something going. It is up almost 4% this morning. ARM is up 3%. Marvell 2.26%. QXO getting past 1650. Nebius 280. Nokia 1.3%. How about Zeta? I agree. I'm going to have something special for you guys tomorrow about Zeta. AMD, Lena's favorite company, 524. Google, 348. IREN, 55. NVIDIA, up 0.5%. 201.09. Oh, boy. NVIDIA is breaking 201, everybody. Go figure. Zeta, 1960. Love it. Love it, love it. Lululemon, 109. This thing keeps falling. Broadcom, 381. SoFi, 1732. Hoodio Hood, 103.50. Reddit, 165.78. Meta's a little flat. Oh, my God. Ray is up this early also? Woo! Michelle is up also? Jeez. Everybody's such early birds. Early birds. All right. Who are the big losers? USO. Oh, you know what that means. Palantir 114, SpaceX 153, getting back to where it opened. I'm going to definitely discuss this one. Ray leaves for work when Amit starts. Look at that. Look at that. VG next down. Salesforce 151.40. Rocket Lab 94. Microsoft 370 falling in the pre-market. IBM 263. No bueno, ladies and gentlemen. Oracle 164. CrowdStrike 678. Rubrik 74. Amazon 233. My favorite company, Costco 955. 955. All right. A lot of things happening this morning. Let's actually look at the commodity markets. I want to take a little lap here, ladies and gentlemen. They said it couldn't be done. I'm telling you. I firmly, let me say this, firmly believe the majority of analysts are wrong. I know I go against the grain a lot. Hear me out. We're at 71 on WTI. We are now under 75 on Brent. There is no way that the administration wants oil prices to go back up. Not for 4th of July weekend, not for the summer driving season, and not for the midterm election. They are going to do everything they can to keep oil prices down. Don't forget how many people were calling for oil 150, saying oil wouldn't get here, blah, 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 blah. I'm not going to call the oil's going under 65. I am going to call, as I have been calling, oil between 65 and 75. We're at 71.04. This is going to take 2 or 3 months. I have a very strange feeling that there is a high probability they come out of Jackson Hole with a much different temperament. Now, anything can happen. A lot of variables, but crude at 71 is a huge indicator. It's a huge indicator. I want to see it under 70 and stay there. I think that oil is not going to zero, Matt. You know that. I guess we really can't say that because oil went negative at one point. Pretty wild. Okay. I want to hear. I did not catch this. We're going to try to find it for everybody. I guess Besant was on CNBC today. Okay, let's see what good old Scott Besant said. Let's get that up, and we're going to get into the macro. We're going to get into Micron. We're going to get into Wendy's. We're going to get into JP Morgan's new call on the market. A lot of things.
We're talking about Iran. He just posted something on Truth Social. Iran has informed the U.S. that despite troublemaking fake news reporting to the contrary, there are no tolls, no insurance costs, and no other charges of any kind being sought or received by Iran on ships traveling the Strait of Hormuz. If this is false information, negotiations would end immediately. Additionally, no money has been given to Iran or released from their money to them by the U.S. We're releasing some of their money that is totally controlled by us to our farmers and ranchers for the purchase of corn, wheat, soybeans, and more. Food is desperately needed in Iran, and we will be purchasing it for them exclusively from the United States. Thanks for your attention to this matter, Donald J. Trump.
Well, I think that's a very, very important statement for the American people to understand. So any money that the Iranians get first is going to be used for the benefit of the Iranian people. It is going to be Iranian frozen funds, and the U.S. Treasury will have people sitting. The initial money will likely be released from Qatar. U.S. Treasury will have people sitting in Doha overseeing that how the money is allocated, and a very large percent of it will go to buy U.S. foodstuffs and medicines. So we will be recycling the money back into U.S. products, but it will be overseen by Treasury in the Middle East.
At this point, I mean, would you say that the president's pragmatic approach to ending this? Is it an off-ramp? Did we accomplish everything we needed to accomplish, in your view?
Yeah, look, I think we didn't have regime change, but we changed the regime. And that's what took a long time in terms of getting to the negotiations. The actual fighting, which our military destroyed their Air Force, destroyed their Navy, destroyed a large part of their missile stockpile, but more importantly, destroyed 80 or 85% of their missile producing capabilities. So we've done that. But Joe, what took a long time was finding people to negotiate with. If you think about the Iranian power structure, it's three different groups. It's the elected officials on one side, the IRGC in the middle, and then the clerics on the other. And those were decapitated at the first level, some at the second level, and now we are down at the third level. And what President Trump has done with the combination of epic fury, economic fury, and the blockade, for the first time ever, for the first time since 1979, the Iranians are willing to discuss their nuclear program. Never happened before.
Treasury secretaries love strong dollars, obviously. I don't think we've ever had one that would ever say they'd like a weaker dollar.
Well, what we love is doing the right things to make the dollar strong. So we want certainty. We have great tax certainty thanks to the Working Families Tax Cut, also known as a One Big Beautiful Bill. We have regulatory certainty thanks to President Trump's deregulatory regime. And originally, he told the cabinet, for every one new regulation, you've got to take out 10. I think we've taken out 100. So great regulatory certainty. And the U.S. is the only manufacturing location in the world that can provide great energy certainty, because now we're the leading energy producer and exporter in the world.
Okay, look, I want to be very clear about something, so please listen. I try not to be political. I see all the comments, the blah, blah, blahs and everything else. Look, unfortunately, politics intersect with investing. And if you want to be a well-rounded investor, you want to cover everything from every angle and understand how the macroeconomic environment impacts the stock market, we have to pay attention to this stuff. It's not just about picking one name and sticking with it. We have to look at what can possibly be happening that's going to create ripple effects in the market. Do I like talking about politics? No, I don't. Everybody has an assumption about how I vote. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. I'm actually an independent, and I actually want a lot of things reformed. Be that as it may, I'm not going to get my wish. But you have to pay attention to this stuff. And Basent said exactly what I've been saying. Who the hell were they negotiating with? I mean, that's probably very legit. Probably very legit. Now, with that being said, if there's no tolls and if oil is free flowing right now, that is what is being represented in the oil markets, which is what I care about, because oil is directly tied to inflation. And when we look at where the metals market is, gold is flirting with 4,000. Silver dropped below 60. This is very bullish for the stock market, even if tech feels a little scary right now. We really could be in a situation, and I'm going to bring up the whole commodities thing right now. WTI 71, Brent under 75, copper 605. We need that lower. Gold is at 4,025. Platinum 1580. Silver broke 60. Silver was above 90 at one point. Okay. 90 at one point. When you look at this, input costs are one of the largest causes of inflation. They drive the cost of goods up. So these things are very important to listen to. Okay. Listen, I do criticize Republicans. I criticize Democrats also. I don't know where you get that from. But very important. We'll see what happens with oil. I want rates to come down, and I think they will come down. I really do. Oil at 71 is a much different world that we are living in than where oil was a month ago. Much different world. And President Trump continues to say no charges on the Strait of Hormuz shipping. The cent is seconding that. The dollar is getting stronger and inflation is falling. That's what we want to see. And I think it's a good setup for the second half of the year. We got some news. OpenAI and Broadcom unveil LLM optimized intelligence processor. Oh, giddy up. Giddy up. Did Broadcom just save my portfolio on the stock draft? Where are we on Broadcom? AVGO, where are you? All right. We got it going. Let's go to the other tab, my chart layout. Let's bring up Broadcom on here. AVGO. Look at that big candle up. Broadcom. Man, that's very interesting. A specialized optimized intelligence processor with OpenAI. I still think Broadcom is severely undervalued here, even after this candle going up. 394, my opinion. Now, keep in mind, I'm a shareholder, okay? I'm a shareholder. I may be biased. But when I look at the numbers, Broadcom has so much forward growth ahead of it. I'll tell you, I get excited about it. Very excited. You're right. I only criticize Matt Money. I actually don't criticize Matt Money. I just criticize Rocket Lab. What can I tell you? Love to see this. Broadcom ripping. We need it to go higher. Hopefully it does. All right, Micron. Let's see what Micron's doing this morning on the big chart. Okay, one day. Still up. Micron's up $34 in the pre-market. This is the only US-based maker of high bandwidth memory. And they are reporting this afternoon. The consensus estimates are that they're going to do, let's see. I don't think that this is right. Let me validate this. This number seems high on Micron for their earnings today. Hold on. I guess it got revised higher because the street's calling for $19.95 of EPS this afternoon. I guess it got revised higher on $34.5 billion in revenue. Micron's own guy was $35.5 billion. Oh, Nancy Pelosi, ladies and gentlemen. Nancy Pelosi has two new buys. Woo. Intel and Uber. She bought $1 million to $5 million of Intel, and she bought $500,000 to $1 million of Uber. Let's go. Let's go. I have Uber in my personal portfolio and in the stock draft. Nancy Pelosi pumping my bags. Let's go. Uber. I really do believe Nancy Pelosi is the greatest stock trader of all time. I mean, how could you not say that? She beats every hedge fund. And you heard it here first from good old Captain Jack. Intel and Uber, Nancy Pelosi. $500,000 to $1 million of Uber, $1 million to $5 million of Intel. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. I have no idea what information she has. The number, I don't know about Intel. Now, Intel makes sense, maybe not on valuation, but from a strategic standpoint with the U.S., chip fabrication, very important to national security. Uber, by the numbers, as I've said, looks extremely undervalued. Jake Rizzo, what is going on? Matt Money, you have an open invitation anytime you would like to come on. You also have a link. You have an open invitation. Hopefully you're working from home today. You can grace us with your presence, sir. Come on down, Matt. Be the next contestant on the Market Open. We got 24 minutes until I ring the bell. 24 minutes until I ring the bell. And I will try to get as excited as Amit when I ring it. Man, we got a lot of people here. Do me a favor. If you're enjoying this, please like and subscribe. Helps me out a lot. All right. So Micron, I think that we're going to get blowout earnings today. I think it's going to lift the market. I could be wrong, but everything that we're seeing, wow. Nebius selects Commodore's AI platform to manage their Kubernetes reliability across the AI cloud infrastructure. Nebius is making a lot of deals lately. I got some other stuff about that I want to talk about. You know, Matt Money busts my chops. I don't see him to bring him on. Will the real Matt Money please come on? Here's what I think we need to watch for this afternoon, and I will be live and I will be streaming Micron Earnings. I will be doing the market close for Amit since he will be on a plane. He's currently flying. He got out at 6 a.m. this morning, headed to Singapore. So what I'm watching for, and I think what we need to pay attention to this afternoon, is the high bandwidth memory revenue mix and how fast that segment of Micron's revenue is expanding. Because I think that's going to justify a re-rating and get away from a commodity narrative. I want to see what the Q4 guide is and whether management frames the shortage as something that's going to last through 2026. And I want to see if they use the words inflation. I want to see if they say that we're in an environment where memory pricing stays higher for longer. Oh, you speak his name 3 times and he shall appear. Matt Money, never fear. Matt Money, never fear.
Steven.
What's up?
Steven, what's it like to be the best looking guy on the Market Open?
What's it like being Matt Money?
Confusing. Very confusing, Steven. Did I lose you?
No, we can hear you, Matt. We want to know what it's like being
Did
Matt Money.
Did I lose you?
Well, Matt, you're going to have to watch this with us, so bear with me. I'm bringing up the live news on this.
Watch me speed up. Bring it back.
When they have it, there's a picture of Hock Tan and Sam Altman, of course, and that is what we're talking about. We're going to have an opportunity to discuss that as well in the 10 o'clock hour, when we will be joined by Greg Brockman, OpenAI's president, and Hock Tan, of course, the man who runs Broadcom. A lot of different questions here in terms of, will it compete with some of the other accelerator chips out there? Is going to be immediately deployed in some of the data centers that are being built? I always think about the one that I visited a few weeks ago. But what it really is about is reducing the cost and increasing the efficiency, or both, in other words. So, you know, what they're talking about is making it more affordable overall. As we continue to have debates around how much compute companies are using and the cost of all of this AI for the companies that are providing it and the companies that are then using it as well.
All right. Well, we will watch that interview around 10 o'clock when it comes on. Lena, you better be getting your steps in with Chels. You two are the step bullies, I hear. Chels, how many steps have you done already? I want to know. Matt, what are you doing today? I mean, Broadcom is rallying. We just got some more news, everyone. 2 big things. D.A. Davidson reiterates buy on Zeta Global and keeps a $30 price target driven by the Palantir partnership. And Wedbush reiterates, get this, outperform on Palantir and keeps a $230 target, nearly 98% upside from where we are right now. How do you feel about it?
Shout out our guy, our guys at Whitbush.
Shout out Dan Ives, who Matt took a picture with.
He's a good guy. Penn Stater, smart guy.
Are you excited for Micron this afternoon? And do you think that this is going to finally, I feel like I keep saying this, like this is the earnings call that's going to get the Bears to knock it off. And every time I think like this company is it, something else happens. I'm going to say it again. I think that this is the earnings call that can put a knife through the Bears' hearts. What about you?
I couldn't agree more, Steve. I know we talked about it the other night with respect to this kind of limbo period that I feel like we've kind of been in, right? The most hated rally that we've seen in quite some time. You can even see in the extreme fear that is kind of in the market right now, even with like the gauges that come out. You know, people are terrified, and the market's still in a very healthy state comparatively to where it's been over the past 6 months to a year. It's kind of insane. But I think that this is going to instill a lot of confidence in the broader market, hopefully, and give us some relief until we actually get some numbers from the hyperscalers in the second quarter. We're only a couple days away from the second quarter close, so that means within the next 3 weeks or so, we should start getting some good numbers from the likes of Google, Amazon, Microsoft's, and guaranteed that those numbers show up more reasonably than I think people are really thinking, and the CapEx cycle will be justified. I've come full circle on it, Steve. Originally, I thought, this whole CapEx thing was going to be too much, and we'll pull back, but I don't know. I think that the revenues and the net incomes that we're seeing from these guys, it's completely justified for the time being.
You know what? I'm glad you've come full circle, and you were the one that was. I'm not going to say didn't believe in it, because obviously you did, but you were more questioning certain things. I think if
I was a shook baby, Steve. You can say.
No. I think if you've come full circle, then maybe a lot of other people are coming full circle. I think that's a good indicator, because we need people that are skeptics. We need that. We need that in the market. That's what makes a market, and it keeps everything honest. To me, there's no indication that this is slowing down.
No, I appreciate that. Yeah, and it's the funny thing is, though, is like, even though I was skeptical, it wasn't that I wasn't investing in the Amazons and the Googles of the world, right? And it's my Microsoft position and Broadcom position are newer, but it wasn't that I was anticipating that they were going to fail, right? It was never that. It was more along the lines of that, there would be slight pullbacks, and that it would take more time, and they're going to get influenced by the shareholders, but I think Chris Patel said it very, very well on Monday night with respect to talking about these guys are masters of the industry, and we're the shareholders, right? We're greedy. We don't want to see CapEx be spent willy-nilly on useless projects. But hey, if these guys think that we need data centers, these guys have built trillion-dollar companies that are generating hundreds of billions of dollars a year. Who are we to be shooting from the couch or our mom's basement to say that they don't know what the hell they're doing? These guys know what they're doing.
I mean, I'm in my mom's basement right now.
I'm in your closet, Steve, so I don't know. No, you locked me up here last night.
Let's not
you adopt me, you shook me, because I'm a baby, and put me in the closet.
Let's not get into that. But you know what? We are going to need a lot more compute. SpaceX's XAI, ladies and gentlemen, doubling down on video and image generating tools. If you think that we didn't need more compute, SpaceX just said, oh boy, check this out.
Is there a clip?
No, there's no clip. It just came through on the wire.
Well, the thing that bothers me, Steve, is this is something, I don't know, it seemed like, and I think it just, there's so much on Elon's plate. It's tough. Like, I initially, when he took over, he seemed like streaming was a big thing that he wanted to kind of get into. He was streaming the video games. You know, he was really trying to push that. And it seems like over the last 6 months, it's taking a pause. And it's kind of sad. Like I really was kind of hoping, as somebody who's a content creator, wants to get the message out there and talk a little bit about markets and all that. I was really hoping there'd be another platform that really pushed in a new way the ability to generate video and things like that. And I don't know. So hopefully they do some good work. And I mean, hell, you can't even get replays on the streams that you do on X and see the live chat. You know what I mean? Like, you know how when you post your streams after the fact on YouTube, you can actually still see the live chat. I don't think you can do that on X. So something as simple as that, where your audience is trying to communicate with you and trying to add fruitful commentary on top of your live video, you can't even have something like that on X. So I would love to see that push forward. Any content ability, videography ability on any platform, I welcome. You know, all I want to do is make sure that folks get the opportunity to see financial content as much as possible.
Well, let's get your take on this, Matt. A lot of people are shook babies, especially in the analyst community. JP Morgan comes out this morning, and you ready for their call? They raised their S&P 500 target from 7,600 to 7,800 for the year end 2026. And they're citing strong earnings momentum from the AI investment boom and a resilient economy. That's a 6% move from where we closed yesterday. And here's their logic. Corporate profits went up about 12% year over year in Q1, and JP Morgan sees S&P earnings growth around 13% to 15%. And the bull case, okay, this is crazy, but the bull case runs to 8,900.
That's JP Morgan's
Yeah.
for the end of the year?
So their base case is now 7,800, and their bull case runs to 8,900 if 8 of 11 sectors deliver double-digit earnings growth, not just tech.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I can see that. I can see that.
You've got the AI CapEx engine and a more bullish street. They're pulling one way. We're seeing it. If we don't get rate hikes, and if I'm correct that we get a rate cut, I really do think we soar past 8,000 come September. I may put an 8,200 price target out on the S&P.
I thought you were going 8,500, Steven.
I'm a shook baby. Listen, give me a little credit. I was a liar last year. I said we get to 7,000. We missed it by like 10 or 15 points.
I was 11.
On December 31st, 2025, I said S&P 8,000 this year. Everybody thought I was nuts. I think I was higher than every analyst on the street. We may get there. We may get there by September or October.
Well, to go back to your point, I mean, I think that you've highlighted this very substantially. When we move into the second half of this year, after the second quarter earnings, we're going to start to talk about fiscal year 27, and we're going to start to talk about what it looks like in fiscal year 28. I don't think that most analysts are there right now. I think most analysts are still hyper concentrated on fiscal year 26 and year growth from 25 to 26 on each individual quarter. So I think we still have some time until, 3 months or so until people really start to hyper focus on what's going to happen for fiscal year 27. But once that happens, I think people are going to start to recognize, coupling that with the fact that a lot of these valuations, as you've shown on your channel, are getting to really low prices. So if they are able to meet their expectations and just continue to execute and deliver, I'm cautiously confident that we'll see a lot of upgrades, not just in the individual S&P 500 predictions, but in a lot of these stocks as well. You're going to hit a floor, right? Like, I don't think that you'll see 2028 I don't think you'll see 2028 earnings really get below 15 times in a lot of these companies, right? So a lot of them are starting to get there. And so if they're able to deliver, that just means that you're going to see 10-15% increases year over year in the S&P 500 on average. I'm confident that we'll see close to 7,800, 8,000. I think that's a good base case. 8,900 is insane. I mean, I think we'll have to see some sort of some real step changes in how Q2, Q3, Q4 come through, coupling with how much additional capital expenditure they're going to spend in 2027. I think in order to get to that 8,900 target, you're going to have to see an increase in the latter half of the year of that 770 number that CapEx is being invested, closer to 825. You're going to need a little bit more oomph to be able to get to that 8,900 number.
Well, we're putting a poll out right now. Does S&P 500 go past 8,000 in 2026? Let's get some voting in, ladies and gentlemen. We want to know what the chat thinks. We want to know if the market goes past 8,000. So we'll come back to that in a few minutes. And I saw some comments about rate cuts. And you may be right. I may be wrong. Here's my stance on rate cuts. We were expected to get 1 to 2 rate cuts heading into this year. That changed because oil spiked over 100 and we did not know what was happening in the Middle East. We still have half a year left. Oil is flirting with $70, down from $115. It could take 2 or 3 months for that to move through the CPI and PCE and PPE prints. Trueflation is under 2%. The Fed is looking to modernize their data under Kevin Warsh. If they do, if oil holds here and goes below 70 and stays there, we will see inflation on a trailing basis cool and on a forward basis stay under 2%. As long as unemployment doesn't go up, as long as inflation cools, there is a real case for 1 to 2 rate cuts in the back half of this year because the carrying costs on debt are hurting the average American. The carrying costs on debt that needs to be refinanced by corporations is going to expand the likelihood of them having to lay people off because their margins will compress refinancing at higher rates. There are many reasons for the Fed to cut rates and really no reasons for the Fed to hike. We could see a rate cut. We may not. I don't know what's going to happen. That's just my opinion. I
was just going to say, I don't necessarily 100% disagree, but I think one rate cut would be justified by the United States economy, right? And the ability for corporations and everything, and as well as the sentiment of the consumer. I think 2 rate cuts would be greedy, but potentially also justified, and here's why. Not necessarily because the consumer, I think the consumer is doing well. I think the U.S. economy is doing well. And if inflation comes down as what I'm expecting, right, I was kind of thinking that this conflict might actually persist into August, which would definitely have ruined the potential for 2 rate cuts. I think the only reason why we potentially still might see 2 rate cuts is not from an economic standpoint, and I don't think it's going to be reliant upon jobs and everything of that nature. I think that could justify an additional rate cut on its own. 2 rate cuts, I think, is just because interest rates on an annual basis now for the United States economy have surpassed over $1 trillion a year, and that just is a tax burden on the entire United States taxpayer basis. And what I think that would do is continue to have a debt spiral on its own, right? I mean, think about if you guys were paying 25% of all your home income additionally just to interest rates, right? I mean, that's just insane. So I think that if anything, if we have 2 rate cuts, it's because it's going to be forced down our throats due to the fact that we want to get those interest payments back below $1 trillion a year, because otherwise we're just going to continue to stack all this debt on the government side and not be able to get ourselves out of it. I think that's more of a backstopper and a reason to cut rates than the need from a spearheading and firing up this economy. I think this economy is firing on all cylinders, personally. So I think that, yes, while it's been tough to readjust and mortgage rates and everything like that, the economy hasn't stopped. In fact, I think, like, yes, with interest rates going above and mortgage rates going up to 8% at one point for 30-year, we're in a better spot. It took a while to adjust. I know some people still aren't moving for the sake of the fact that they have 2.5%, 3.5% mortgages. I get that, but it's not that the economy's come to a standstill. The economy's in my opinion doing extremely well, as we're seeing with a lot of these industries right now doing extremely well, hitting 52-week highs, and the market themselves being within striking distance of 52-week highs. So, if anything, it's more along the lines of the debt and the deficit that the United States economy continues to put themselves in, that we need a second cut or even a third cut going into the first half of 27.
Yeah, look, it's I see a lot of comments. I put a poll out about it. A lot of comments about Fed Watch. The Fed Watch tool on CME Group can change on a dime, ladies and gentlemen. It has changed on a dime. It always changes on a dime. It changes with information. Don't be surprised if it changes soon. We have 3 minutes until the opening bell and the cowbell gets rung for the market open, ladies and gentlemen. Matt, tech is running right now. We got Micron 3.6%. We got ARM 2.93%. Broadcom up 2%. Tech is trying to make a comeback. Nancy Pelosi buying Uber and Intel. Do you think that's a sign, Matt?
I don't know. I haven't done as much due diligence on Intel and Uber over the past couple months as maybe one should. I know you have Uber in the draft. Do you have Intel? No, nobody chose Intel.
No,
right?
nobody has Intel. And NVIDIA is about to lose 200. What are we doing?
What about our friends at SpaceX? They still above 150?
SpaceX. Our friends at SpaceX are at 154.
154, so flat. Okay. I don't know, Steven.
I don't
But
know.
Uber, Uber and Intel. I mean, you're more of a believer in Uber. I hear what you're saying. I don't necessarily disagree with what you're saying. I think a lot of people, the Tesla bulls, will sit there and say, "Oh, well, Uber is going to zero. Tesla Cybercab is going to." There's still a lot of people out there, based off of what's being portrayed of Elon out in the media, which I don't always agree with. There's a lot of people out there that, just like Elon, want to decouple from anything that he does. That's one of the bull cases for Rocket Lab. It's one of the bull cases that I have for Uber. Not saying I'm an investor in Uber or believe in the stock. I don't know enough, but I think that there's enough of a market out there that wants to decouple themselves from Elon Musk and everything that he's doing in the world, that Uber worldwide, I think, will continue to do well. So I think that they'll be around for decades to come unless something disrupts them. I don't think that the disruptor for that will be Tesla Cybercaps.
Matt, you're going to have to cover your ears. The bell is going to get rung pretty aggressively. The market is open, ladies and gentlemen. Market is open. Let's go.
That was a pretty good bell ring there, Stephen.
Let's go.
Good
All
job,
right.
man.
QXO is up 2.3%. Lululemon going to 111. Broadcom 385. We got Micron trying to do something. We're losing ground on technology, ladies and gentlemen. We are losing ground. There's a lot of things in the red. Google is at 349. Micron 1061. Costco 961. NVIDIA trying to hold it. We're trying to hold 200 on NVIDIA. $200.52. Reddit 166. Tesla, man. Tesla is going crazy with the volume right now. A lot of things in the red, Matt. I'm not liking this. Let's see what's deep red. USO, Deep Red, VG, Rocket Lab, unfortunately, Next Decade, IBM, Service now turning again, 93.63. The SaaS story is getting crushed, absolutely crushed,
Cooked.
It's not good. Oracle 162, Palantir 115. Let's put Palantir on the big chart. Let's go 1 month view. I mean, this is Palantir's down $1.50 right now. 115.18. I would like to think that we do not go under 100. I want it to stabilize. It looks like it's trying to stabilize right now, but this is an ugly chart on a 1 month basis. I mean, we were at 165 or so in the past month. Matt, how are you feeling about Palantir right now? I think we lost Matt, everybody. I think we lost Matt. Okay, we're going to go back to the other view. Let's see what else is moving. Okay, AMD 523.48, Amazon 235, ARM 370, Broadcom 388. I'm a little surprised that tech is not running more. I think that people may be trying to front run Micron earnings this afternoon. SK Hynix is planning a NASDAQ listing and looks to raise $29 billion, with trading expected to start on July 10th. The target raise was 45.45 trillion won. And the reason to tap fresh U.S. investors and narrow the valuation gap versus peers. They are saying that this would be big for the U.S. market debut, and a major AI memory supplier would be very beneficial. I agree. I would love to see them on the NASDAQ. I would love to have another option out there. That would be great. JP Morgan cutting its Brent outlook, which is good for my thesis. It is good for my thesis on rates coming down and inflation coming down. Salesforce just went red, ladies and gentlemen. CoreWeave, 104. Matt Money, are you back with us?
Steven.
What's going on, Matt?
I do have to say, I heard you talked about Palantir. Unfortunately, I lost connection as I entered the garage here. I did some rebalancing again last night, Steve. I mean, we've been talking about how all these names are so cheap. I mean, there were several that I was more balancing in terms of bi-monthly ads. For those that don't follow me very much, I add every paycheck I get, and then of course if I have excess, I'll add more so. But every paycheck I have a pretty good steady cash influx into the portfolios. I took the opportunity last night to, as you know, I've trimmed down the position size, or not position size, the position number in my portfolio. So I said, I was adding, a couple $100 here, a couple $100 there. Now that I'm not, where do I redeploy this? I rebalanced everything, Steve. I said, you know what? How much am I adding on a paycheck basis to all these companies? Let me right size it. I have good positions in something like Next and Amazon, so it's not that I'm going to completely remove those. But I wanted to make sure that I had my friends at Broadcom and Microsoft also get some funds into their cups. So I made sure that those guys will be getting funded, whereas before, those were just strictly on excess capital that I was able to find from trimming positions, etc. So it'll be fun to see that go into 2027, hopefully, unless some of these things get out of balance again and I had to pull back, because at one point I trimmed back my contributions to Rocket Lab by 75%. Now I don't know if I've up. I think I doubled it. Not from what it was like most recently, but back to its original sort of amount that I was adding to. I think I even doubled it. Just the fact that it broke below $100 again. So,
Well, Matt, you're going to want to hear this. SoFi is at 17.95. It's up almost 4% right now, and you took it second in the draft.
Took it second in the draft, and I also have some, just like you do, I have some debit spreads on it.
Oh, I like that. Well, we should talk about something that is a little degen. Wendy's is up 37%, ladies and gentlemen. 37%. And the news on this is that Wall Street bets piled in after the company named a new CFO and chief strategy officer. Short interest was at 26%. And this is a squeeze, ladies and gentlemen. Pure mean energy.
Shout out my guys at Wendy's.
I mean, the spicy chicken is legit.
Dude, don't get me started. The chili is also delicious. But hey, I'm trying to get rid of a lot of the excess carbs, right? So sometimes if I'm in a rush, I'll stop by and I'll say, you know what, give me the Dave's D without the bread, and they'll give me a nice little container with just meat and cheese. It's delicious. I put a little ketchup on there, call it a day.
I mean, Wendy's is absolutely going crazy. It's up 37%. Wall Street Bets is doing its thing. I need to look at the numbers. I've never looked at Wendy's. So we're going to look at it right now. Let's see if this is wow. Yeah, just over 26% short interest. They do $2.2 billion in revenue, $748 million in gross profit. They are operating income $148 million, net income $148 million. They actually, wait a second, am I looking at this correctly? Share price is $8. That was revenue. Yeah. I was going to say they do not do more earnings per share than their share price. That'd be crazy. Cash from operations is $318 million, CapEx $96 million. Not bad for Wendy's size. So they're buying back shares. They pay a dividend.
An aggressive dividend, actually. But the aggressiveness of the dividend, I think, is because the share price has depreciated so much.
So they have $2.7 billion in debt with $300 million on the balance sheet, and the dividend yield is 8.95%. Why the hell did this fall so much?
I think they're closing stores. They're working with Palantir. I'm sure what they realized is their footprint was too expansive, so they're probably resetting, trying to capitalize on the most profitable stores, get some scarcity up there. I think sometimes these companies, especially when they have so much competition these days with other new concepts coming out, etc., I think that their margins just get squeezed, and they recognize that all the infilling that they did to be able to capture additional market share, maybe it's just easier if you hyper focus on certain stores. You'll actually be able to increase margins on certain stores and not have the footprint. So sometimes the economies of scale in some instances can actually be a deterrent, especially if you kind of take your eye off the ball and kind of feed into things. So I don't know. I'm curious to see what their plan is. I think they're going to have to shrink before they grow again.
Well, they're not expected to really grow on EPS, but from a valuation standpoint, Wendy's looks right up my alley as a cigar butt trade. And with the dividend yield, I may take a position, even though it's up a lot. I got to do more research on it. But SpaceX, 152, it is trying to stay above where it opened at on the IPO day. We have taken a round trip, ladies and gentlemen. That entire pump up has been dismantled. There's a lot of people holding bags right now. And I will say it again. The valuation never made sense. It did not make sense where it went IPO. Did not make sense when it was bigger than Microsoft and Amazon. When the lockup period continues, I think this falls further. I really do. Matt, I think this was a great pick in your draft. I think it was a great pick.
For
those of you asking where Amit is on a plane right now. He is headed to Singapore for the meetup, and he will be back Friday morning, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm what was I going to say here? Yeah, I mean, if you think about this, Steve, I'm trying to remember if they had an additional 10% unlocked. So they might be trading 14, 15% of the float right now. There's still so much float to be unlocked. Still so much. And I think that it's just going to provide a big headwind for the company unless there's a lot of capital coming in to be backfill some of these institutional investors that want to get out. I think it's going to be tough. You've also had likely a lot of employees as well that have the opportunity now to get out for they've had some private sales, right? I mean, of some of these sales.
We're dropping. We're almost under 151, Matt.
Steven, don't get me excited like that.
Dropping 151.10. I don't like seeing people lose money
by
any means. I hate seeing people lose money, but this made no sense whatsoever.
Well, my only hope is that, well, not hope, but I mean, from a stock draft perspective, this is giving me a good head start in terms of locking in a position that can get me a 15 to 30%, pretty evenly. And that's what we talked about, right? I mean, we talked about getting some really big, good winners that get you 15 to 20, 30% and not trying to go for the home runs. I mean, being a short position for everyone that's kind of thinking about this, you can't make more than 100%.
Matt, you're in the lead, buddy. You are numero uno in the draft. You are down less than 1%. Tanner is in second place. I'm in third. Jason is in fourth. Chris is in fifth. And Amit is in sixth.
Steven, can I ask you a serious question?
Yes, you can.
Did you ever doubt that I would not be first?
Oh!
I'm just joking. But no, I think that this one was kind of an easy call. I think everybody wanted to do it. It's just obviously shorting something.
All of us were shook babies. Your short position. Now, keep in mind when I say this is fictitious. We may have positions in these companies. We may not. We did a stock draft over the weekend, and we are going head to head against each other. Matt's short of SpaceX, which is a fictitious short, I believe, is up 18.39% for him.
Yeah. I mean, at some point, I actually might flip it,
Well, you know what? I don't hate that. You know what? Ray's got your back. Don't doubt the White House quant. Don't doubt him.
Amen.
Don't doubt him.
A lot of people do. But, hey, I love the fact that you guys were able to guide me in this morning to the office. I do have to run.
Get after it.
You guys have a great day with Steve. Steve, thank you for holding the torch for the community.
And
how
Matt,
many people
want,
what's that?
If you want, I'm going to be doing the market close and Micron earnings if you want to come back.
I will potentially come in mid earnings. I don't know if I can get home early enough to do the close. That's still prime business hours. But what was I going to say? How many people we got in here, Steve?
4,461.
I mean, hopefully all of them are subscribed. If they're not, they need to hit that little button that says subscribe to Hot Steve.
Appreciate it, Matt.
I'm sure there's a couple percentage points in there where people haven't subscribed yet. But thank you guys so much and love you guys. And I'll hopefully see you guys this afternoon.
Sounds good.
Good seeing you, buddy. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, there you go. The leader of the stock draft is at the office now. Oh, WTI falls below 70 a barrel, ladies and gentlemen. First time since March 4th. WTI falls below 70 a barrel. U.S. energy firms fall as oil prices hit lowest since the start of the Iranian conflict. Woo! Channeling my inner Ric Flair. Don't forget, everybody said I was crazy. Everybody said I was crazy. Maybe I studied economics. Just saying. I may have a degree in economics. I don't know. WTI is at 69.96. That is officially under 70. I will take it. I will take it. Don't be surprised if we start getting, over the next month or two, reversals on CME Group's Fed Watch. Do not be surprised. All right. Apple 296, AMD 517. I don't like this. I think people are shook. Sachin. What's going on, buddy? Hope all is well, Sachin. I think people are scared. They want to see what Micron says on the earnings call. They want to see if it's a blowout quarter. They want to see if we are memory constrained. I think that there's a lot of things fighting us. But you know what? The bulls will prevail in the long run. Ray, I know I'm crazy. I know. I've been told I'm crazy for a long time. Amazon at 237 is disrespected. We laid it out in the video. ASTS Space Mob is under 70. Broadcom is losing all the steam that it built up this morning. It's at 381. Costco's 965. Salesforce is up 233. We don't hate that. SAS needs to turn around. Hood just lost 100, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know that we can be too mad at that. On a year-to-date basis, we took a round trip, but we're back. I don't think that you can hate this. Hood at 100, when you think about where it came from, I mean, that's still a good-looking chart. Stocks don't just go up. A lot of people hit a 5 to 10 bagger on this one. So congratulations, that is everybody that's in Hood. Congratulations. Not often that you get that, so you guys deserve it. All right, Meta. I am happy we're not down $50 right now. I'm very happy we're not down $50. Zuckerberg came out talking about prediction markets, talking about Instagram long form on TV. I'm lukewarm on prediction markets. One hand, it's like the angel and the devil on my shoulders. On one hand, I get it. I'm good with it. On the other hand, I'm like, man, this is going to open up a tremendous amount of privacy bullshit with them. So, I don't know. Micron, 1040. It's down 1%. I really do believe that this earnings is going to set the tone. Then we go into a little bit of a quiet period over July 4th, and we get earnings season again in a couple of weeks. We get earnings season in a couple of weeks. I'm with you. Prediction market's a great way to get data. Prediction market, if they can make a centralized, and here's where, if we think about Meta, they have almost half the global population using his products. If we put the idea of gambling aside, prediction markets fed into Instagram and Facebook could be an incredible revenue driver. From a business aspect, I'm all for it, but I'm worried that this could open them up to even more lawsuits and turning people off the platform. I want to really hear what Zuckerberg says. I need to really hear it. I don't know. I'm up and down on that. I'm up and down on it. Nokia up 1.82%. How many of you are in Nokia? That was one that I missed. I definitely missed that without a question. Man, NVIDIA, I got to make a decision. So full disclosure, I have covered calls at 200 for August. I almost feel like I should buy them back right now. After the stream, I may have to buy them back because I feel like while this could go either way to this afternoon, I feel like Micron's earnings are going to be really good. And NVIDIA 200 is just so inexpensive. I think the market's wrong on this. I really, really, really do. Reddit's losing steam. Man, look at how volatile this chart is. Let's go to the big one. Let's put Reddit on there. This is another one I got to figure out what I'm doing with my life. This is another one, Reddit. I'm still in it. I'm in it for a lot longer than I wanted to be. And I've been able to really harvest the premiums on the cover calls. Look at how choppy that is. It's huge volatility. I know a lot of people like it. I think the numbers are good. But I have an internal conflict with Reddit because this was never a long-term investment for me. Jake Rizzo hit the Noke. Good job, Jake Rizzo. This was never a long-term hold. Now, I don't want to sell right here into weakness because every time it does this, it goes back up. I think I want to wait a couple of days, see what happens, write another covered call, get paid to get out, and take that money. And in all seriousness, I've been thinking about degenning and going either leaps or more spreads on SoFi. And I know that's not an original idea. I think SoFi is, Lav G7, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Look, I did the draft page for all of you and for everybody doing it, not for me. Cal Cool, thank you so much. SK Hijinks entering the U.S. market. Yup, we discussed it. Absolutely. I think it's going to be very good. And then Treat, thank you so much for the super. Can we see BMR sub 10? I hope not, but we may. If it goes sub 10, I'm going to have to buy a lot more. That's all there is to it. But I built the stock draft page for all of you to follow along. I thought it was annoying that we had to share a Google sheet and bring it up and that you guys didn't have access to it. It is for all of you to look at it whenever you want. I am thinking about, I'm going to go back to SoFi in a sec. I am thinking about making it where the community can build a portfolio. I have not figured out how to do it yet. It's something I'm kicking around in my brain. And when I figure out the best way to do it, we're going to figure something out to get the community involved with us next time. And maybe even at the first rebalance, maybe we'll do something where we start our portfolios from the same position and build out a community portfolio with all of you. I am actively thinking about it. I'm always thinking of the community, and I'm trying to figure out a way to do it for you. We got to charge SoFi up. Here's the crazy part. SoFi is where it was 5 years ago, and it is a much different company than it was. I am reading all the comments. I don't have a database. I'm using APIs, Robert. It updates every minute, and every 2 minutes, every position refreshes. Krupa, I am going to try to do it for the community. The community means so much to me. I will figure something out. When I look at this, it was not easy to be long SoFi here for a lot of people. I always believed in it. And look, I've been that bull that's annoying. And I fully admit that I've been that annoying bull. Oh, hold on a sec. We're going to make a phone call real quick. Let's see if he answers. He's not answering. Captain Sleepy Time did not answer. I really think with my Reddit position, I want more exposure to SoFi, even though SoFi is a very large position in my portfolio. When I look at this, I believe in Anthony Noto, and we're at 1818, everybody. We're at 1818. I believe in Noto. I believe in the vision. I think crypto is going to be big for them. I think that they are going to do very well on the business banking. I think they're going to do very well on what they're looking to accomplish by rebranding SoFi Tech, even at 18. And you can't say, man, I missed it at 15. I missed it at 16. SoFi is a position for the next 5 to 10 years for me. I think SoFi is going to get much bigger. Apologize. Hopefully everybody's drinking their coffee. The reason that I'm thinking about spreads is because I honestly think SoFi will be above 25 in 2 years from now. I currently have exposure on the 25-35 spread for June 2028. No. June 20. Hold on. Now I'm confusing myself. Is it June 2028 or is it June 2027? I'm logging in right now. Hold on. I don't like giving bad information. All right. SoFi 2025, 2035. Where the hell is the date on this? Yeah, okay, 2028. I'm not crazy. There were leaps. So that's what I bought. The 2028, 25, 35s for June. I think that has a very good chance of paying off big. Though this is an 8x if it hits. I am considering going more into that. I also have a large position share-wise on SoFi. And if you go back and watch the Anthony Noto interview that we did on Basis Points, he laid out the case brilliantly. Keep in mind, this is a company that in every economic environment has delivered. They got one hand tied behind their back due to the pandemic, student loans, the moratorium. They had to pivot. They did something not many management companies could pull off. Even though the narrative is not great, even though sentiment is not great, I do think SoFi is a long-term winner. I really do. It's something that I want to be in long-term. It's something that I think will become a top, I'm not going to get too crazy, but top 15 to top 20. It's top 20 financial institution. Maybe top 10. I think Noto can pull it off, but I think it's going to take 5 to 10 years. I don't think that this is going to be an overnight thing. Now, I want to react to something, because this has big implications on a lot of things. Thank you, PB, for being here. Thank you for the super. Cerebras is down big. I will get into Cerebras in a minute. I want to look at what Kalshi is doing. We're not going to watch the whole thing. We're going to watch part of it.
Prediction markets join us here at the NASDAQ is Tarek Mansour, Kalshi CEO. We should mention that Kalshi.
And thank you for everybody that became members. Krupa, thank you so much. You're always supporting me. XIX Blade, thank you. David, thank you so much for supporting me. You guys are the best. This community is awesome.
Have a commercial relationship that includes customer acquisition and a minority investment. Where we were discussing some of the cynical things about Washington on the break. Yeah, that was my. Why even measure certain things on Kalshi when you know it's all done? It's a kabuki dance in Washington anyway, right? But that doesn't mean that people don't want to bet on outcomes, right?
Well, I mean, well, first of all, thanks for having me. I mean, that's why you want to start measuring these things, right? Like the discourse. I mean, when we started coming in 2018, I was 22, and when I started seeing this sort of I was shocked by how polarized the discourse has gotten, and everything is sort of hazy.
How many of you use Kalshi or use a prediction market? I'm going to get a poll going. I want to know. I don't really use them. I still bet on sports instead of like straight betting. I don't use a prediction market. I bet on sports. How many of you use it? Let's get a poll going. Give me 1 sec. I don't like using the poll on StreamYard, so I'm going back to YouTube for it. Do you use prediction markets? All right, the poll is live, and I want to say a couple of special thank yous. There's some people that really go above and beyond. Chels goes above and beyond. Lena, Hollis, Beneficial. So many people. Michelle and Ray, just incredible. Obviously, Amit, Tanner, Matt, Chris, Jason, everybody. But all the mods, thank you so much. And everybody that continues to show up and support me, thank you very much. I really do appreciate it. You guys are truly the best. This is such an amazing community. Grundy, especially you. This is such an amazing community. I cannot express how good it is. Really incredible. Thank you, everybody. And especially Jake Rizzo for continuously calling me out on my bullshit about not investing in Tesla. So there you go. And then we got a legend in the chat, Cactus Jack, who keeps us apprised of what is going on. This guy is awesome. If you're not following Cactus Jack's channel on WhatsApp, you should give it a follow. Cactus Jack is up to 14,000 followers. So you can support the channel here. I'm going to link it in the chat. Breaking news all the time. This guy is great. This guy is absolutely great. So give him a follow, please. He really does a great job of getting everything real time. And you know what? There is no doubt, Hollis, I am sure that you are monetizing that somehow. I am sure. Rusty, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Rusty. Really appreciate it. All right, let's get back to Kalshi. And wow, that's interesting. We got 450 votes, 84% saying no on prediction markets. Do me a favor, let's get some more votes in. The reason I like running these polls so much is not just to interact with the chat. You guys are the market. Whenever we talk about products or services, we have over 4,000 people here. What better way to get real-time due diligence than asking all of you? This is 4,000 individual people. 4,000. Let's get some more votes on this poll, and let's really figure out how many people utilize these markets, whether it's through Robinhood or Kalshi. It doesn't matter. Let's say.
Emotional, opinion-based, partisan, polarized. And the whole point of prediction markets is actually like, could we add some layer of objectivity to this conversation? Could we make it less emotional, a little bit more objective? And, this is why we launched KPOW recently, the Kalshi Political
In June, thank you for all you do.
Index. Because, you ask people, are we leaning Republican or Democrat right now? And, you get 10 different answers based on what their algorithms are feeding them or who they're talking to or their social circles. But this index is actually aggregating all of our prediction market data, all the forecasts coming from the markets, to give you one number on are we projected or are we tilting right now Republican or Democrat based on how things are heading. Right now, we're actually +3 Republican. So it went down +4 Democrats when the Iran war is at its peak, after the Virginia redistricting and now, some of the ceasefire talks. we're leaning slightly Republican back.
Does it take into account the elections in New York last night?
It does. It does.
It does.
This is less about what's the composition of each party, but more like which party is basically going to be in power. So it weighs basically 25% on current seats held across.
Cerebras is under 200, ladies and gentlemen. It's at 197.54. Let's all right, well, I'm going to go back to Cerebras. Let's finish the Kalshi
Senate,
segment
House,
out.
Presidency, Supreme Court, and then the 75% weight on projected ownership of these seats.
I hadn't thought of it that way, but that I would like to know, because the question I asked, can we extrapolate what happened last night nationally? Is that going to play nationally, or does it actually hurt Democrats when the geographic center of the party, every time something like this happens, you have to move it further out to the left? Let
me tell you. So the net impact out of yesterday. So Kalshi predicted most of these races. There was one that was an upset. Chevalier was actually at 30% on Kalshi.
I didn't know that.
And that was a win. But what we're seeing is a shift. So the odds of the Senate races for 26 have moved. So Abdul is up in Michigan. He's at 78% now. And you're seeing, a number of the House races, basically a lot of the more progressive candidates have gained quite a bit of ground and are shooting up after yesterday's news, the sweep that they had. But now 28 is not moving much yet. So we haven't seen any meaningful impact on 28. And I think usually these things go in waves, right? And I think the market is projecting right now a wave in 26, but I think tapering down back into 28.
You started talking about the methodology, so 25% based on current composition. So I assume you must have back tested this to say what's the new market information from informed pools of participants that can get you to some approximation of handicapping an outcome that's better than polls.
Yeah, I think that maybe backtracking. So the idea behind the index, the Kalshi Political Index, KPOW, is to be some sort of S&P for politics,
right.
Like a tracker, a number that over time you can trade, or other that moves not with the economy or other metrics. It moves with one specific metric, which is balance of power. Now, prediction markets, what they do is they answer discrete questions, right? Who is going to win the presidency? Who's going to win the seat in the Senate, and so on and so forth. But a lot of the things that we're talking about here are more like what you're asking is how are we leaning? Where are we going? Where are we heading next? That's not a precise question. That's not a discrete yes or no question. And that's why we create an index that basically weighs all the prediction market data. So we have hundreds of races, but not also who's going to win, but also the margin of victory. And then we weigh all of that to create this one number of like Republican versus Democrat. And it's essentially, it goes between.
All right. I'm not interested in the political stuff, to be very honest with you. I think Kalshi is very interesting, and I need to start using it more for the economy, or maybe the Robinhood one for research. Maybe that's something that I need to have AI aggregate for me, because it is a real-time leading indicator for what the sentiment is from how people are viewing things. And I think that's important for the market. 84% do not use prediction markets, 16% do. And I want to know how many times Hollis bet on or made different accounts to get this up to 16%. I feel like Hollis uses it all the time. All the time. All right, let's take a look. We're going to get into Cerebras. The markets, we're going to go with my platform for a moment. The markets are green, ladies and gentlemen. The S&P, 7387. The Dow Jones, I got to tell you, I'm a little hurt. The Dow Jones, I'm a little hurt. Verizon got kicked out for Alphabet. I don't hate that Alphabet's in there. Alphabet should be in the Dow, but you know what? Don't kick out my Verizon. Come on. What are we doing? Kicking out Verizon. Craziness. The NASDAQ, up 65, better than being down 900. Can tell you that right now. Commodities, crude, 69.85. We going lower. We are going lower. Look at that. What a day. What a day. What a day, ladies and gentlemen. What a day. Individual companies. All right, we got the heat map. Not horrible. Lots coming out of energy. SoFi, the number one runner. Let's go on the watch list. Did I screw up or what? I was talking so much about TKO. Obviously, okay, it's only up $6-7. I started talking about a 198. I missed a very big boat on this. TKO Group, do not be surprised if somebody tries to acquire them. Do not be surprised. Do not be surprised. SoFi, 1814. Let's go. I'm super energized about that. Broadcom, 382. AMD, Lena's favorite company, 522. Realty Income, 6177. Micron, I'd rather see it up $2.71 than down heading into the print. The U.S. 30-year Treasury yield just dropped to 4.85%, lowest since April 15th. That is a direct correlation to energy falling. Palantir back in the green, 117. Apple, 294.96. Tesla, 382.40. Zeta, 1955. At least part of my portfolio looking green today. Lena. What are we going to do with you, Lena? Snowflake, 230. SanDisk, 1967. SpaceX, about face. We did not go below 151. We are at 156.25. And then there was Salesforce, 153.55. Big old scary Mo. I am a shareholder. I want to see it at 68. I want to see it at 68. I do not want to see big old Mo above 70. I just think it's a bad look for the market. Palantir, 116.70. Meta and Microsoft losing. They are losers right now. Micron down 155. Oh no. NVIDIA just lost 200. NVIDIA just lost 200. What on earth? Okay, coming up, we got Hock Tan and we got Grave Brockman from OpenAI coming up on CNBC. We will watch it in a few minutes. NVIDIA lost it. I am not happy about that. ServiceNow is down. Reddit is down. Verizon is down. Not happy. Oh, no. Listen. Okay, I'm going to make a public statement right now. A very public statement. I do not hate Rocket Lab, okay? I keep getting asked about it. It's at 88. Matt has asked me my opinion. I would never discourage anybody from investing. I think investing is a great thing. But when you ask me my opinion, I'm not going to just say, oh my God, I think this is the greatest investment because you made it. If I don't think it's a good investment, I'm going to speak my mind. If I think it's a good investment, I'm going to speak my mind. I'm not surprised Rocket Lab is down like this. It's at 88. I think it can go lower. I hope it goes back up. I do not want to see this. But look, we've all seen this with Palantir. We've seen it with Robinhood. We've seen it with a lot of companies. And I don't want to see this. I don't want to see anybody lose money. But some stocks get ahead of their skis. And then there are some stocks that are undervalued. That's just my opinion. I'm just one person. If we look at some of these companies, a lot of people, when we were talking about, and I'll do Palantir, I'm not going to get into Robinhood because I don't really follow Robinhood. When it hit 45, I thought it was overvalued. When it pumped here, I thought it was overvalued. When it came down, I thought it was overvalued. When it ran up, I thought it was overvalued. I'm starting to think it's not that expensive anymore, but that's because it's a combination of EPS growing and the share price coming down. This can happen to any company. We've seen this happen. I mean, think about Amazon for a sec. If we look at a 5-year or we look at a long-term chart on Amazon, Amazon went on a split adjusted basis from 187 down to 83. It went down more than 50% in 2022. If that can happen to Amazon, it happened to Alphabet. No stock goes straight up. None. So just keep that in mind when you're investing. It's very easy to get caught up in the excitement. No stock goes straight up. But you know what? These things happen. If we look at Rocket Lab, is this realistic? I mean, 86 to 150 from, when was that? May 8th to June 2nd, less than a month. Is that really realistic? I mean, seriously. I just feel like we have to call balls and strikes and be intellectually honest and not get caught up in excitement. That's all there is to it. I really try to do my best to call balls and strikes. I don't like being biased. And I know sometimes it feels like I'm being biased, especially with things like Salesforce that I've been wrong on. And I say when I'm wrong. Salesforce is ugly as hell. Salesforce has a horrible chart. It is very ugly. It is down more than 50%. It's down roughly 65% since the beginning of 2025. Now, I'm not saying it's going to go back up there, but I am saying that this company, based on the profitability, does not make sense on a market cap. All there is to it. All there is to it. I mean, I think there's some great buys in the market. And is Hood taking another leg down? Let's look at Hood. Hood is making another leg down. 97.77. Hood's a great company. I want to see. Look, here's my thing with Hood. They can legitimately win in the agentic AI. I will tell you this right now. If their agentic AI trading really is good, I'll move money over there and use it for that. I mean, I have some money with Hood, not a lot, but I am very interested in this whole AI trading. I really want a trading bot to make me money while I'm doing other things. And I think that's the same with everybody. Come on, Steve. Rocket Lab is a high beta stock and will have its day again. I'm not saying it won't. I'm not saying it won't. I just don't think it's right now. That's all. I am going to do more due diligence on Composer with SoFi. Absolutely. I think that there's going to be more than one winner. But let's run this poll, okay? Let's run this poll. How many of you, when AI trading and investing gets really good, would you use it? Yes or no? How many of you? I know I would. Look, I am always looking for ways to make my life more efficient and get more things done. If I can do these streams with all of you and have a trading bot trading for me while I'm doing that, absolutely, I want to do that. Absolutely. Okay, Teddy, what are you using? What are you using? I want to know. Use Alpaca to train your quant bot. I'm going to write that down. Where's my pen? I'm going to write it down. Alpaca. Okay. I think I saw I use Alpaca. Okay. I will definitely take a look at it. I will definitely take a look at it. And before we go, and I want to let CNBC run. I don't want to stream it real time. That's why I'm stalling on you for a minute. We'll go to it in a moment or two. NVIDIA just lost it. NVIDIA is at 198.80. I can't believe this. I cannot believe this. I promise you, I'm going to stream the Broadcom and OpenAI thing. I just don't want to do it real time. Okay. This is disgusting right now. This is absolutely disgusting. All right. Where are we? Okay. 73% of you, yes, I'm with it. This is absolutely disgusting. The fact that NVIDIA on a year-to-date basis has gone from 236 to 198. What the hell is going on in the past couple of months? This is crazy. This is crazy. We are at a point where the market hates profitability and they hate the greatest companies in the market. My brain is breaking, ladies and gentlemen, because you know what? NVIDIA grew its revenue 85% year over year. They're doing more than $2 billion. Whoa. At this run rate, at quote on operating income, $53 billion, they're doing roughly $3.9 billion in profit a week. The market hates profitability right now. This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. Okay, let's go to CNBC. Let's listen to the Hock Tan and OpenAI announcement. I want to really see what they are doing.
It's co-developed with Broadcom. The company's saying early testing shows a substantial improvement in performance per watt, with gigawatt scale deployment targeted to begin later this year. Joining us now in a CNBC exclusive are OpenAI's president and co-founder Greg Brockman and Broadcom CEO Hock Tan. Gentlemen, thanks to you both for being here. Greg, let me just start with you. We spoke to you last October when you and Broadcom unveiled this effort, and I'm sort of curious, at the time you said that the goal was to decrease the cost of each token at a fixed level of intelligence. Does this do that? And if it does it, is it substantially better or is it more incremental?
First of all, thank you for having me. It absolutely does that. This is a real performance improvement on performance per watt in terms of performance per dollar. And so for a fixed amount of intelligence for a fixed model, it is so much more performant, but also it means we're going to be able to serve just much more intelligent models, much more broadly at scale.
And when you say substantially better, when you talk about performance per watt, you aren't giving us numbers yet. And I'm curious, are we going to get them in terms of technical benchmark reports and the like?
Absolutely. Yeah, we'll have a detailed technical report over the next couple of months. I've seen the initial numbers from our team. They're looking very, very strong. So we're going to be very excited to show all the details to the world.
All right. I assume you heard our last guest saying, well, they're not going to be good enough to meet what we're doing at Cerebras. Do you disagree?
Look, I think that the market is very big, that this is a chip that is designed for LLM inference from the ground up. We really went from scratch and had an amazing team working on this, actually designed with our models. So we were able to design the whole thing from end to end to tape out in 9 months, which is real, just like blazing fast for this industry. And it's really targeted around our knowledge of LLM inference, where the workloads are, where they're going, not just our models, but the whole industry. And so it's something that's unique and different and really carves out its own niche that doesn't exist right now.
Yeah, Hock, I wanted to come to you to that on the 9-month, design to tape out. It was an aggressive schedule. Has it changed the way you do things at all at Broadcom? Does it become the new normal for sort of custom AI silicon?
It is. First of all, thanks again for having me. Appreciate seeing you again, David.
And always love to see you as well, Hock. Thank you.
Hock Tan, ladies and gentlemen. Fearless leader, my #1 pick in the draft, Broadcom.
Well, it's a great opportunity because this is a key milestone for us. But answering your question, it has always been our aspiration to do that. What we have here, and in a broader context, it validates very well the business model we put in place, which is simply that every model maker, LLM, frontier model developer will eventually go towards designing, building their own silicon, compute capacity, compute development, simply because they can do it much better. And here what we have is world-class, leading-edge frontier model development to combine with a team, one of the best team in the world out there, to create AI chip design, working with us. And we have all this IP, silicon technology, and what you get is an AI accelerator, the Jalapeno, which is built, guided on the fundamentals of OpenAI LLM. It's built on ChatGPT, and it's a full stack from the model all the way down hardware and software to the basic transistor. When you have that kind of capabilities, you will get a chip, as Greg put it, that is superb, state of the art, and there's no question it is.
Okay, well, let me follow up with you, Hock, if I can, because you are talking about deploying this at gigawatt scale with data center partners starting this year. Is that something? Why are you confident you can do that? And there's been reporting that, in fact, you still need Microsoft, and I'd love you to correct the record if you can, if there's a reason to. You still need Microsoft to backstop a big share of volume before you commit to building sort of at scale.
I think this is something collaboratively done with OpenAI and our partner, our joint partners like Microsoft, in being able to deploy at the scale we talk about. But here we're talking about beginning it late 26, and this is more small prototype development in 26, scaling up over time in 27, and going full bore definitely in 28. So it's given today's requirements of supply and the lead time towards it, we expect to start going at it, but we will start seeing it really ramp up 27 and really going full tilt first half 28.
Okay, so Greg, then how much of OpenAI's own compute then eventually is going to run on Jalapeno versus, let's say, NVIDIA or AMD over the next 12 to 24 months? I mean, does this reduce?
All right, this is going to be very important, everyone. This is going to be very important because we're going to find out from OpenAI directly how much they're going to offset, if any, from the traditional GPUs to TPUs. And this has always been a threat. You think about Alphabet, you think about what they were doing with TPUs, their deal with Broadcom. Let's see what they say.
Your dependence on NVIDIA, or is it simply additive in terms of efficiency and everything else that goes along with it?
It's very additive. We feel that we cannot get compute fast enough to keep up with demand.
Boom. Okay. Additive, and they cannot keep up with compute. That is super huge for the market. I really do believe that we are in a compute arms race. These companies, it's not just that you can't stand up data centers quickly enough. You can't get the compute with the chips quick enough, and they need more of everything. I think it's super bullish.
And so we're really going as fast as we can on compute on all axes.
You talked about OpenAI using your own models to help design the chip in that 9-month period I just referenced. How much of that was actually AI driven versus human engineering?
There's definitely a lot of human engineering and ingenuity that has gone into this, and that will never change. But the degree to which our models have been able to accelerate it was very surprising to us. And this was with earlier models than we have now. And so that we really have AI that is extremely capable in chip design. We're actually exploring that, applying these models with different partners. And so I think that you're going to be able to see just acceleration of people being able to design their own chips in upcoming years.
You know, and so, Greg, it was only about a month ago I walked what is going to be an enormous data center in Saline Township, Michigan. I'm curious, like what's going to go in there? Oracle's the partner there, Related Digital. Are they going to be putting Jalapeno in there along with all the other racks and everything else? Like how does it, put in perspective for me how that changes the approach, for example, where you're going to have 1.4 gigawatts coming in there to what you're going to be able to get out of it when it comes to the compute?
Well, the way I would look at it is that we are constantly expanding our compute portfolio across different sites, different chips, and exactly mapping the exactly which chip to which site depends a lot on the workload we want to run. For example, NVIDIA is our training partner. That's where we do our massive scale frontier training runs, and there you want to have densely interconnected sites, and you want to be able to connect across different sites as well with high bandwidth. And so when we're mapping out where we put our chips, and that we sometimes make very late binding decisions, that we look at the kind of runs that we want to be able to execute and then map that to the decisions on what hardware goes where. But the way I look at it is we're constantly building more, and figuring out exactly what site is used for what application is done in a very globally designed fashion.
Right. So, Hock, I guess when I hear Greg saying that, it doesn't necessarily mean anybody's demand for compute is going to go down as a result of these efficiencies that are created. Is that right?
Absolutely. I said in my last earnings call, compute demand among our 6 customers, and as I say, we only have 6, and OpenAI we count as obviously a one critical customer, is simply insatiable. It's just much more than we can address. And this is not just 26, nor 27. We're seeing that same and even elevated demand in 28 as well.
Wow. Wow, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. They see the demand 3 years out and more. Incredible. So long, these companies. So long. I got to tell you, I've been saying it. I have not changed my stance. I have not changed my stance at all. Not when the Bears came for me. I'm not changing it now. I do believe we are in a technological build-out that will last many, many, many years. The market doesn't care. That's fine. The market doesn't care, and guess what? I don't care about the market not caring. We're going to get into the full analysis after we hear this. So damn bullish. The time is now.
So does it change your competitive position, though, versus NVIDIA? I wonder, Hock, when you talk about that, or Marvell when it comes to custom AI silicon, are you taking inference workloads from the likes of NVIDIA's GPUs?
I think there's a lot of demand out there for more than one kind of chip. But the key point to address here is when you start creating custom AI accelerators, which Jalapeno is, designed specifically for particular fundamental workloads in particular LLM players among the customers. You get performance that surpasses using a general purpose at a substantially lower cost per token, whatever. It just simply works out that way. But it continues to expand the universe of available computing, as Greg is saying, and I'm seeing it among all my other 5 customers. They just want more compute. And of course, they want it as affordably, as efficiently as they can get it. And that's really what Jalapeno provides very well.
Right. And finally, just to wrap up here, Greg, is it exclusive to OpenAI workloads, or is Broadcom going to be able to sell sort of this design or variants of it to other AI labs?
So it's our design, but we do believe it's going to be appropriate for language models across the industry. So we're very focused on deploying for us, but I think this could be something big for the industry. But one thing that I think is also very important to highlight is why. Like, why do we need so much compute? And I think we're heading to a world where the economy is really shifting to be AI and compute powered. That is going to be a force that really lifts up what everyone does. And so we want to be able to deliver medical breakthroughs, be able to help people in their daily lives and their work lives. We're seeing this in software engineering. We're going to see it very soon across every piece of knowledge work being accelerated by compute and people being able to do more and be able to raise their ambitions.
Finally, Hock, let me end with you. Your perspective, broadly speaking, you're talking, of course, about insatiable demand. We heard from Masa Son from SoftBank this morning, essentially, saying that anybody who calls the AI revolution a bubble or AI a bubble, it's blasphemy against AI. Just curious, given your perspective, whether you agree with those sentiments.
Well, we do not see it as a bubble. We have not seen it as a bubble. And David, you know how we think about this. We're providing the technology. In a way, we are providing the essential picks and shovels that enables this entire generative AI trajectory that we've been seeing. And we're continuing to see demand scale up each passing year. 26 for us was 2x, more than 2x what 25 was, and 27 will be 2x at least what 26 is, and 28 will probably be the same trajectory. So I don't see that slowing down, and what we're seeing is the capabilities of the models, the frontier models, the application use, even in Broadcom. We use it for engineering, design, and we find tremendous productivity improvements. And we've seen things like leading edge models like even Mythos coming in, that could an equivalent coming out of, I'm sure, OpenAI, that could take us even further. Now, all that requires is underpinned by more and better compute capacity. So we see that going on at least for the next few years. Beyond that, I leave it to people like Greg to tell me if I should keep investing on compute capacity.
You should.
All right. There you go. You got the answer right in real time. Guys, appreciate you taking time.
All right. I am so excited right now. First, before we get into my raw reactions and we really get into this, and we're going to get into it, PB, my friend, thank you so much. Pre-orders for Grand Theft Auto 6 begin at midnight. Let's go. It's going to be crazy. Henry, thank you for becoming a member. I really appreciate it. Bonnerville, it's actually weird. Meta, Microsoft, NVIDIA, Palantir all took a dive during the start of June. Did something happen? It's mind-boggling. Yeah, the market's stupid. That's what happened. The market's stupid. I'm going to tie this into what I'm going to say right now. And Hot Tan to the rescue, ladies and gentlemen. You either believe in the AI revolution or you don't. And we're going to go to the stock draft for a moment. Look, I don't know what's going to happen in the future. I have no idea, okay? Nobody does. Anybody who tells you that they know what's going to happen tomorrow is full of shit. I'm not going to sit here and say this is going to happen. I talk about what is probable versus what is not probable, okay? You have 6 people in the draft that follow the market very closely. Look at the first pick for each of us. Amit took NVIDIA. I took Broadcom. Matt took Micron. Chris took Marvell. Tanner took Microsoft. And Jason took Cadence. You go to the second round. AMD, CoreWeave, SoFi, Iren, Palantir, Nebius. You go to the third round. GE Vernova, Meta, Amazon, Hut, ASML, Qualcomm. Just those 18 picks. There's roughly what? One company that's not really an AI company, but you could make an argument SoFi is a technology company, and now they're getting into AI. We are all AI or bust. And I'm not saying that we are right. I'm just saying that you have 6 people who really follow the markets closely that all took some type of technology company in the first 3 rounds. I've shown it before. I've shown it again. And for those of you that missed it, I'm going to show it right now. the main reason why I believe that I am correct and the market is wrong is because of the cash flow. These companies would not be doing this type of cash outlay in CapEx if they were not able to monetize their investments. Over the past decade, Microsoft has grown its cash from operations, okay? Its cash from operations by $137 billion, 411%. They have spent $328 billion over the past decade on CapEx, but they've generated $875 billion. Over the past decade, they've done $546 billion in free cash flow. This is why the Bears are wrong. The Bears want to scream, they want to kick, they want to complain about the market going up. They're not involved. This is a bubble, blah, blah, blah. It's too expensive. They hate the NASDAQ at 25,000. They're going to hate it at 30,000. They hate it at 10,000. Alphabet has spent $426 billion on CapEx over the past decade, generated $953 billion in cash from ops, and over $525 billion in free cash flow. The combination of Microsoft, Alphabet, Meta, and Amazon, $3.2 trillion in cash from operations after spending $1.7 trillion in CapEx. These four companies alone represent over $1.5 trillion in free cash flow over the past decade. Why are we going to sit here and say these CEOs and these boards and these management teams do not know what they're doing? These are the greatest management teams in the history of business. Full stop. Full stop. The greatest management teams in history. Zuckerberg, people clown on him. People make fun of Zuckerberg. He's a founder who is leading the company and has led the company to over $100 billion in annualized EBITDA and cash from operations. Nobody can compete with Microsoft, Amazon, and Alphabet on their cloud services. They just can't. We are seeing every big company that matters in the technological build out, every single one, tell us they have to spend more. They're the ones that are integrating all of this into their products. Yet we still want to be influenced by the bears. We have Jensen coming out. We now have Hock Tan coming out in a joint statement with OpenAI telling us that they can't build compute fast enough. And these chips that OpenAI and Broadcom are building together are going to be accretive. It's not going to shift demand away from AMD or NVIDIA. This is going to be accretive to the compute. We need more TPUs. We need more GPUs. This is a situation, in my opinion, where the tech revolution keeps going, and I'm going to follow the money. I'm going to trust my own due diligence versus the bears. And there is a place where the bears are important. And it's important to have that other perspective to make sure you're grounded. But you know what? And I'm glad that this is a great question. And Krupa, you're 100% right. Zuck is an absolute genius. Youngest in the Mag 7. I agree. But this is a very important question. What about the ROI? Let's talk about the ROI for a moment. We see it in the spreadsheet I put together. And it may not show up this year. It may not show up next year because they're spending more on CapEx. Look at Microsoft. They've gone from spending $8 billion to $97 billion, and this is going to absolutely expand throughout the year. There's no question about it. But they've had to spend all this CapEx to generate all the cash from operations. Is the free cash flow stalling out? Yes. Has Alphabet's free cash flow gone down? Yes. Has Meta's free cash flow gone down? Yes. I don't care. Here's why I don't care. It's temporary. Now, temporary could be 2 or 3 years, but at some point, they will go from CapEx expansion to maintenance. In that maintenance mode, when you deploy all this CapEx to their AI offerings, it is going to make cash from operations most likely go absolutely crazy. Depreciation is a part of business. That's all it is. Don't worry about depreciation. It is not something that should get you worried. It really shouldn't. You have to spend money on these chips to make money in the future. You have to. Here's the thing. Free cash flow is just one metric. And it is heavily influenced by CapEx. Let's look at the actual profitability metrics, okay? On just those 4. Meta, Microsoft, Amazon, Alphabet. Where's my EBITDA? There we go. Okay. All of them do over $175 billion of gross profit on a TTM. All of them do over $100 billion in EBITDA. All of them. Operating income, $88 billion for Meta, $150 billion for Microsoft, $85 billion for Amazon, $138 billion for Google. Net income, Microsoft and Alphabet, $125, $160 billion. Is free cash flow going down? Yes. But these other metrics are not. And you know what? Maybe we should start looking at it, and Matt's been saying this, maybe we should start looking at this as paying the price to cash from ops. This is not expensive. This is not expensive. Let's add some different companies in here. Let's just add Pepsi and Coke. 2 old school companies. I own both of them. Right now, you're paying for Pepsi 14.9 times cash from ops. Meta's is cheaper. Coca-Cola, you're paying 23.8 times its cash from operations. It's actually more expensive than Meta, Microsoft, and Amazon. Only Alphabet out of those 4 is more. I don't think these companies are expensive. And if we look at them on an earnings perspective going forward, they're definitely not expensive. The Mag 7 on a forward earnings basis trade NVIDIA at 13.7 times forward, Meta at 14 times forward, Microsoft at 16.4 times forward, Amazon at 18.5 times forward, and Alphabet 20.5 times forward. Right now, it's a narrative problem. It is not a broken company problem. It's just not. There's a lot of pockets in the market that are expensive, and there's a lot of companies in the market that are inexpensive. I don't think that these companies will be trading like this time next year. And oh my God, you guys are right. Look at SoFi. Let's go. Let's go. Keep running, baby. Run down a dream. Run down a dream, SoFi. Let's get back to 20. Please, let's get back to 20. That'd be great. SoFi's running down a dream. I love it. I love it. I love it. What do you mean by their cash flow will go to zero? So how are they undervalued? Talking about free cash flow or cash from operations? Look, SoFi could sell off a little bit, but SoFi is a great company. Oh, I like that. SoFly, I'm stealing that, Tony. Thank you. I'm stealing that. SoFly. SoFi turning into SoFly. Oh, I like that for a video. I like it for a video. I'm stealing it. I am stealing that shit. SoFire, I like that too. I like it. Oh, that's good. That is good. And look, I don't know what happens. I just don't. But when we think about the companies that have led us to this point, why do we think that they're not going to lead us forward? It's just crazy. Let's look at some other companies. Look at Uber for a sec. Not Uner. I don't even know what the hell that is. My fingers can't type. Uber, 73.24. Let's go, Nancy Pelosi. Let's go. All right. I think that this wick is because of Nancy. Pump my bags, Nancy. I'm with you. I'm in it. I think Uber is super disrespected. I think Uber is super undervalued. I am in it. Do not follow me into it. I think I got in at 71. I disagree with the narrative that Waymo and Cybercab are going to put Uber under. So I think that hold on. What did I get lucky on? NK Trade, WTJ. I just want to know what I got lucky on, please. Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. I just want to know what I got lucky on. I will confirm if I got lucky. Here is Robotaxi going to kill them. Maybe. I don't know what I don't know. Here is my thesis on Uber. Okay? My thesis on Uber. Oh, drafting Micron last year. Some would call it luck. Some would call my thesis on AI. I don't know. Once again, I'll take it. I got lucky. Sure, no problem. Let's think about logic. The most valuable asset that we have is time. Okay? Time. You never get it back. You only have so much time in your life. Okay? Why on earth? If I can get in, look, you guys know I live in New York City. If I do an Uber right now to anywhere, I'm getting picked up within 2 minutes. No matter where I am, I'm getting picked up within 2 minutes. Okay? There is no way in the beginning there will be enough cybercabs to pick people up in a time frame that competes with Uber. Uber also has all your data. I'm not downloading another app. My time, and I don't really, unless it is, look, if I need to get somewhere and an Uber ride is $25, okay? Uber versus Cybercab. Cybercab would have to be $2 or $3 for me to spend extra time and even consider not using Uber. That's all there is to it. Now, I'm not saying it can't get big. I'm just saying that more likely they end up doing a deal and putting their cars on Uber. I think that Uber will have an autonomous side and a human driver side. I think I don't take the train. No. Look, I don't do public transportation anymore. I just don't. I refuse to do it. I refuse. I refuse to be in the subway. I don't want to be underground at all. I don't think it's a weak thesis. by any means. And I could be proven wrong. I could absolutely be proven wrong, but let's think about this. How many cybercabs can they really put out in a year versus how many Uber drivers are there? People are going to prioritize their time over anything. Just because Elon, and let's put it this way, half the country hates Elon. Half the country despises Elon. They're not going to sign up for it on principle. Then you have to compete with efficiency. So unless the price difference is that dramatic, then, I mean, it's going to be very hard to get people to switch. Now, if you get to the point where the Cybercab app is a 20-minute wait and the Uber app is a 2-minute wait, and the price differential is not that crazy, a lot of people are going to say, screw this, I'm not waiting for 20 minutes. Period. And look, we're going to have to see how it plays out. I can't prove that I'm correct. Okay? I cannot prove that I am correct, nor can you prove that I am incorrect. We are going to have to respectfully disagree and see how this thesis plays out. And yes, Elon could buy Uber. And you know what? Elon should buy Uber because of the free cash flow. Uber is generating over $10 billion in free cash flow. It is a great idea. Just buy Uber and replace everything with cybercabs over time. Buy the platform, buy the infrastructure. You already have everybody's data. You're paying for the cost of acquisition. Not to mention, cybercabs are for a limited amount of people. A lot of people, look, when you're at work and you're going to another company or you're going to a conference, you're doing this, usually it's 3, 4, 5 people that go, maybe more. So we're going to have to see what happens. Uber also does other things. I just don't believe that there's a world where autonomous will not be on Uber. And let's keep in mind, for autonomous to really work, you need legislation, which we do not have yet. So we'll see. Next one is Netflix. I am bullish Netflix. I'm not a shareholder. Netflix is at 72.43. This is a god-awful chart. I mean, that's just, what a bad chart. I mean, this got to 136. This is such an ugly chart. And you know what? This can go lower. I just realized I'm not sharing the chart. I apologize. I suck at life. I'm not sharing the chart. This is such an ugly chart. Netflix. Now, I do think that there will turn around. I really do. Gross chart. Chels thinks it's going lower. June is saying Jason thinks it's going down more. Based on this, there's no stopping this. This could go lower. But are a lot of people really I don't have Netflix anymore, but a lot of people still have it. A lot of people still legitimately have Netflix. I think it's going to be fine. Oh, okay. Cactus Jack, thank you very much. Lebanon and Israel are discussing a U.S.-backed proposal for Israeli forces to transfer some of the Lebanese territory invaded in the war with Hezbollah to Lebanon's military. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, listen. I got a good feeling about this afternoon. I got a good feeling about a lot of things. The markets are not cooperating the way that I want them to. That's okay. I'm a long-term investor. But you know what? 69.90 on WTI. SoFi, otherwise known as SoFire or SoFly by the chat, 1839. We're up 6.5% today. Amazon 240. We finally got out of the 230s. I like it. Broadcom, Hawk 10, 384. Reddit 167.27. Let's go. Apple 297. Salesforce 154. Meta 565. We're starting to come back. NVIDIA dipping and now running. 201.28. I like it. Zeta 1961. Microsoft 375. AMD, Lena's favorite company, 521. Micron, like I said, I'd rather it be green than red on earnings day. We're going to run into earnings. We're going to see what happens. Yes, I will be live starting at 3:30 this afternoon. Okay? I am going to do the Micron earnings call. Matt may join us. Maybe Chris will join us. I'm going to reach out to Chris, see if he wants to do it. I am going to do the market close. I'm going to start a little early because we're going to roll into Micron. I'm going to do a bunch of stuff, get a few things ready. And I will be on at 3:30 for everybody for the close, and we'll do Micron. I think Micron is going to set the tone. I'm very excited about it. We got Palantir 116. Somebody did ask me about my favorite dividend stocks. Let's do 2 minutes on dividends real quick. Right now, I really like Energy Transfer. It is an MLP. It issues a K1. So for tax purposes, you have to really look into that and talk to a CPA. But I really like energy infrastructure companies, Energy Transfer, Enbridge, Enterprise Product Partners. I like Realty Income. I like Pepsi. Those are the ones. You can follow me on Seeking Alpha. I talk a lot about it there. With the Starbucks coffee at 3:30, you know what, Krupa? Maybe. I'm a big fan of Starbucks. What do you want me to say? I'm a big fan of Starbucks. Okay. All right. This is the fact that I'm getting messaged about stuff with this is crazy with Broadcom. Look, I said it before. I don't want to keep hammering this point home. I follow the money and the cash flow. We'll see what happens. I will put out a very big statement tomorrow. Ray, thank you very much. I'm planning on doing a really big article about Broadcom, NVIDIA, everything else. Look, I got my capital behind it. We will see what happens. Now, SoFi is doing really well. Hollis, are you still with us, sir? I got to tell you guys about a side project that I'm doing. Public.com. I'm really looking at their agents for your portfolio and everything it can do. Okay. So they got a lot of things that you can do, et cetera, et cetera. A lot of things, a lot of agents, a lot of things. Create agents for anything. So I, in the background, have been building something. It's not built yet, but I'm going to give you guys a first look. I have been building out a strategy and a public trader to hook in. It's not done yet. I got to really refine it. I got to really, I had Claude, and I saw a lot of comments about Claude. I had Claude go through Public's entire thing. We're going to build it. I'm going to put money in there. I actually texted my accountant before and said to him, I need to talk to him. And he said, so I asked him if he can talk around 11:30 or 12. He said, heading, not going to say where, to play golf with a client. Can I call you after the round? Yes. But I'll call you tonight. Call me after the kids go to bed. Have fun. Boom. I'm serious, ladies and gentlemen. I'm serious. Oh, Lena. If SoFi goes to 100 real quick, we're going to have a party, okay? I think that we're going to have a really big party if SoFi goes to 100, all right? Now, the reason I texted my accountant is because I want to know what all the implications of this are going to be. I know they changed the pattern day trading rule. I want to ask him very specific questions. No, my dairy dealer is not my accountant. Look, my accountant is one of my best friends, okay? So I have access to him all the time. The reason I'm going to talk to my accountant is because I am 100% serious. You guys know that when I say I'm going to do something, I do it. I built my own financial system. I am, as long as this is not going to screw me on taxes and that type of stuff, I am going to build out this system. I am going to fund the account, and we are going to see in real time if my bot can make money, okay? So I got to talk to my accountant. I'm actually going to talk to one of my engineer friends, and I'm going to really refine this and keep refining it, and we're going to do it. I don't know when it's going to be up. I don't know when it's going to be up, but at some point it will be up. Bot Bucks, baby. So this is a side project of mine, and I don't know when it'll be done. I'd like to have it up and running in the next couple of weeks. I think it would be really cool. I'm really interested in it. I've really wanted to have something trading for me in the background. And after really seeing everything Public is doing, I think I'm going to fund the account on Public. I need to spend a lot more time. I'm not ready yet, but it is going to be a side project, and we'll see what happens. We will see what happens. Krupa, you're going to fly out for the party? Listen, I think a lot of people are going to fly out for the party. So if I goes to 100, it's going to be a destination party. It's going to be a destination party. How about that? Maybe we all meet up in Vegas or something. Who knows? Okay. Steve will be living in his yacht parked on North Cove Marina. You know, Matt, this is going to sound so stupid. I have looked into buying a boat and living on it just to not pay property taxes. Unfortunately, I don't think I could live on a boat full time. That's how much I hate paying property taxes. It's crazy. Milk Island. Oh my God. Milk Island. You guys are great. You guys are great. Milk Island. Oh, all right. Micron options are going crazy right now, ladies and gentlemen. Crazy.
Selling with under 6,000 puts sold versus almost 10,000 bought, which suggests some nerves that if there were a big shock here, it would be more likely a negative one. There's also the complex of investing themes tied to this company. It's number 4 in the SMH ETF, and there's DRAM, by many measures, the most successful ETF launch in history with over $20 billion in assets, and now a 2x levered version that went live today, ticker RAM. And you might include the South Korean stock market. One bullish trader we saw in the EWY ETF today brought in $1.2 million, selling a 13% out of the money put expiring July 17th, then spent $700,000 betting on a 23% rally by the same date, Carl.
Oliver, thanks for that. Some interesting tells as we work our way closer to the print. That's Oliver Rennick. When we come back, don't miss Cerebras CEO Andrew Feldman. He's going to be with us following the company's first report since going public. Shares still under pressure.
All right. I am interested in the Cerebras story. Very interested in that. This is not something I was ever really interested in buying. So give me 1 sec. Let me pull it up. Cerebras is down 15%. Now, they reported earnings last night, and their revenue grew 94% year over year to $193 million. Their EPS, negative 22 cents, beat by 7 cents. Shares are absolutely tanking. Absolutely tanking. The market cap of this company is $50 billion. And the street is expecting they lose money this year. They make 90 cents next year. I mean, I look at the forward numbers. I don't think this is that crazy to take a flyer on if it keeps coming down. I don't think it's that crazy. Krupa, see you at 3:30. I'm going to do DD on Cerebras. Absolutely. I absolutely am. So I want to look at the chart real quick before we listen to the CEO. This is a company that is falling, and I want to see if there's a play on this. Oh, that's ugly. That's really ugly since the IPO. This thing skyrocketed to 390. Hollis, I know that you got in with some shares. I don't think you got many of them on the IPO offering. Do you remember what the price was that they were coming out at? I mean, this is ugly. If this keeps going to a free fall, this is something that I got to pay attention to. Cerebras is going to go on the watch list, and we're going to see what it does. I want to hear what their CEO says. I don't think that he has come on yet. Their CEO has not come on yet. $7 billion in revenue and 20% net margin, or support the current valuation. Well, if it keeps going down, if the stock price keeps going down, it's going to get cheaper. Where's the street see revenue? Let's see. So the street has revenue growing 243% next year, getting to 2.91 billion. And then 150. This is a ton of growth. Ton of growth. I think Cerebras is very interesting. I don't know that I like the price point, but it's something that I'm interested in. He got one share at 185. Okay. One share at 185. See where we're at today. Let's go. Oil 69.76, ladies and gentlemen. Biggest winners, Wendy's 28%. Uber's up 7%. I must be dumb or something. I thought Uber was going to zero. SoFi up 5.9%. Amazon 3.36%. Got to make it a little bigger for everybody. Lululemon 2.5%. Nokia 2.3%. QXO is up almost 2%. Broadcom 385. I need it higher. SpaceX is running, ladies and gentlemen. SpaceX is trying to break out past 160. Salesforce 155. I like that. Rubrik, Tanner's pick, 74. Meta 566. Reddit 166. NVIDIA is coming back down. I'm not liking this. I am not liking this at all. I think the market's starting to get worried that they're going to miss earnings or something. This is kind of crazy. This is kind of crazy. All right. Exactly what we were waiting for. Let's tune in. Give me a sec.
For having me back. I appreciate it.
It seems like we should probably tackle the gross margin story first. That seems to be getting the most attention today. Is that misunderstood, that guidance?
Yeah, it is misunderstood. You know, we laid out a plan at the start of 26. We shared that plan as we went public a few months ago, and we're beating that plan. What we announced yesterday was that record revenues for the quarter, 191 million. We announced a beat on gross margins, and we guided to a raise for the full year, both in gross margins and in revenue. So I think it's not going to be a straight line. One of the things we'd explained to people was that there is so much demand that we would rent back some equipment from one of our largest customers because we wanted to keep our customers happy and continue to deliver compute to them. That's in line with what Greg Brockman said. There is an enormous demand for compute.
Go ahead, sorry.
It was, we raised full year guidance on gross margins in our core business by about 10 points.
Yes. So can it be most easily explained? I mean, you may not want to name them by name, but is it about OpenAI sort of ramping? Is that that's what explains Q2?
Look, we have dozens of customers that are demanding huge amounts of compute. OpenAI is obviously the largest. In addition, we signed and will soon be delivering compute for AWS.
Real quick, Steve, you would have finished dead last in the draft if you had not picked Micron, and none really wanted it because it lasted to the 10th round. But I did pick Micron and finished second. Keep that in mind. I did pick Micron.
Customers like GlaxoSmithKline, we do a big business with the U.S. Department of Energy. We do business with Figma and with Block and with AlphaSense. I mean, the really interesting companies across a wide swath of.
This is a big list of companies that they do business with. Meta, OpenAI, IBM, AWS, GSK, GlaxoSmithKline, AstraZeneca. I mean, though AstraZeneca and GlaxoSmithKline, two big, not healthcare, but I mean pharmaceutical companies. U.S. Department of Energy. I did not realize that they had all these customers. I honestly did not do the due diligence on Cerebras the way other people did. Now that it's falling, I'm starting to get a little interested, and we're going to have to really pay attention to it. Very, very interesting, especially at the price point. If this can go down to 150 or 100, forget it. I think it's a very exciting company if you're going to hold it for the next couple of years. We just got to see where it starts to bottom out. The chart does not look like it's going to bottom anytime soon.
Of the economy, everybody wants more tokens. Everybody wants more tokens, and we had a choice, and we could pass on the demand, or we could keep our customers delighted with our extraordinary performance by renting some of our own gear back and taking a slightly lower margin in the next several quarters, while at the same time doing better than the plan we'd laid out at the beginning of the year.
How quickly do you think you can ramp those other customers outside of OpenAI, and how much do you think is that filtered in already into the street's estimates?
Well, we signed a big deal with AWS, and we're proud of our work with them. We announced at the yesterday at the earnings call that we had completed all the definitive agreement with them, and would begin a collaboration which involved building a solution that contained our hardware and their hardware to deliver not just the fastest but the highest throughput tokens. That will take shape and be sort of in our numbers in next year. It's not currently in anybody's forecast as it's just happening now. But I think as we look out, there's so much opportunity, there's so much demand that we are doing our best to meet it.
Is there another type of Amazon-like contract as well in the works for you?
You know, we had a $1 billion contract with our strategic partner G42 and signed a contract north of $20 billion with OpenAI. Those are not everyday events.
20 billion with OpenAI. 20 billion. I got to do more DD on this.
Those are rare even in our industry. Our partnership with AWS will give us reach to sort of every enterprise in the world uses AWS in one form or another, and that's a tremendous way to get our blazing fast inference in front of the world's enterprises.
Right. Sorry to almost cut you off there. I'm curious what you make of the stock price today, down at about 15.5%. How much of that do you think is around earnings? How much of that do you think is around just the lockup expiration?
Yeah, we chose to be innovative in the lockup expiration. Traditionally, everything unlocked on the 181st day, plus or minus. That was, I think, a legacy and served nobody well. We chose to titrate out our lockup with pieces at the first day and pieces after the first earnings call and pieces after the second earnings call to try and smooth out the path. Whether that's a success or not, we'll have to see.
There are some questions about where you think supply chain concerns are the most acute for your own business. Can you talk about what you have your eye on the most?
Sure. I think as an industry, everybody's constrained by HBM, by memory. And that's a very particular type of memory that we don't use.
That's going to be a big thing for tonight with Micron, because we know that HBM, high bandwidth memory, is a constraint and there's just not enough of it. And it's causing some disruption to the value chain. And that's going to be one of the big things that we look at tonight when we do Micron earnings.
So constrained by TSMC's process called CoWoS. And again, that's not a process we use. Finally, the big constraint is around the 3 nanometer node at TSMC. And that's, again, something that we don't use. We use SRAM and we use the 5 nanometer node. So our creative architecture has allowed us to sidestep many of the supply chain limitations. Final challenge that everybody in the industry is facing, I know across the board, are data centers. And that's something that we do face. And everybody who's trying to roll out compute in massive scale is confronted by the fact that we're trying to move at the speed of AI and data centers move at the speed of real estate.
That's a good way to put it. And it sort of also encompasses what I guess you'd call.
All right. I am excited. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Do me a favor. Like and subscribe if you find this content exciting. Really helps me. Thank you so much. Man, Cerebras is the next one. I can't believe I'm even considering adding another chip company. I have too much exposure already. But you know what? I like what he said. I like what is going on. And I am, I am a victim of my own brain, okay? Every time I listen to Jensen or I listen to one of these CEOs, I keep thinking about how polar opposite the bear case is from what they're actually saying and what the numbers are actually showing. All right, Micron. Let's take a look. Micron's falling now, ladies and gentlemen. Micron is falling. We're getting some big candles. This is a big candle going down 2%. Micron down 2%. Can it go lower? Absolutely. We have new news. CoreWeave is expanding in Europe with a Sweden co-location deal, adding AI capacity across 2 Stockholm campuses. Exciting, exciting, exciting. The build-out uses NVIDIA Blackwell and Vera Rubin platforms. Let's go. Man, Micron is... Ooh, did not mean I hit the wrong button. I apologize. I hit the wrong button. I'm a rookie. Rooks, no good. You know, this is to be expected. Volatility on earnings days to be expected. We need to embrace it. I don't have a magic ball. I have a Temu 8 ball. Okay? I have a Temu 8 ball. It's right here. Is Micron going to beat earnings today? Prospect is good. According to the Temu 8 ball, prospect is good. Even though you can't see it, prospect is good. And by the way, happy dividend day. I saw somebody put it in the chat. Friday, the 26th, we get 25 cents a share from NVIDIA, ladies and gentlemen. For some of us in the chat, that could be a partial share. It could be one share. It could be multiple shares. NVIDIA dividend day. Man, I'm excited. I'm excited. NVIDIA dividend day. I bet you Captain Sleepy Time is excited too for NVIDIA dividend day. You require tea leaves? Oh boy, I can't read tea leaves. I cannot read tea leaves. Listen, we all miss Amit. We all miss him. Tanner's going to get a new private jet with his NVIDIA dividends. That would be pretty wild. Yeah, I own Pfizer. I like Pfizer for the divvy. Man, Micron does not want to return up, does it? This chat's amazing. There's no question about it. We do need a tea specialist. I like that. We need a tea specialist. We need a tea leaf reader to see if Netflix After Dark is going to happen or not, is what we need. Man, Micron just wants to trend lower. Where's good old Palantir at? 115. Man, how the mighty have fallen. And Chels is drinking green tea right now, getting that little caffeine fix. I'm with you. I think Cerebrus is going to be a buy at some point. I'm just not sure what that point is. I am not sure what that point is. Austin finds Alpha. What's going on, Austin? How's the puppy doing? Austin, I saw you comment on my rant video about Microsoft, Amazon, Meta, and Alphabet. I'm glad you liked it. I'm glad you liked it. TJ, thank you so much. Jason had put a post out on X about Qualcomm that got me interested. Well, I got to tell you, Qualcomm's a little bit of a sting for me. Thank you for the super. Let's look at Qualcomm. I'm going to tell the story, okay? And Danielle, if she's here, she'll make fun of me because this is how Amit and I spend our Saturday nights sometimes talking about stocks. I think I was on the phone with Amit at like 12:30 at night, past 1 a.m., talking about Qualcomm. And it was back over here when Qualcomm was in April, when Qualcomm was in the 130s. And I said, man, they do over $10 billion of free cash flow. The valuation doesn't make sense. We should look at it. And then it just started going. And then it just started going. Yeah, listen, AMD is an amazing company. Congratulations to everybody. They did a great job. Qualcomm, I like. Let's bring up the Qualcomm numbers real quick. I am a fan of Qualcomm. I have not looked at the valuation recently. Lena, Target is flying. I'm a shareholder with you. I only own one share, though. It's in the dividend harvesting portfolio. QCOM, coming right up. QCOM. 207 billion market cap. 24 billion gross profit, 13 billion EBITDA, operating income 11.4 billion, 10 billion net income. Great margins. I mean, these are great margins. Great margins. Free cash flow, $12.5 billion. I mean, I think Qualcomm, look, they don't have the forward growth, but let's just look at this compared to AMD, Broadcom, NVIDIA. I mean, Qualcomm is still the cheapest valuation by a country mile. So if you're looking at it from a valuation standpoint, you're paying the best multiples for Qualcomm's profitability. How are they on invested capital? Hold on. Wow. Take NVIDIA out of it. Qualcomm has a 40% return on equity and a 20% return on invested capital. That's crazy. Problem is their revenue growth is basically nothing, and their EPS growth is negative in the past year. Let's go to the terminal for a sec. I want to look at their buybacks. How much are they buying back? Cash flow statements. Where is it? Buybacks plus capital return. 6.9 billion in the wrong fucking year, Steve. What are you doing? I am so bad, ladies and gentlemen. I don't even know how to use my own system sometimes. So common dividends, 3.8 billion. I mean, they're doing roughly $9 billion of buybacks. That's a big capital return. Capital return yield is 6.1%. I mean, from the numbers, from a value perspective, Qualcomm looks great. It looks great. Problem is the forward metrics. Let's get a snapshot on the forward metrics versus its peers. Qualcomm, AMD, NVIDIA, Broadcom. Yeah, I mean, Qualcomm's cheap on a forward basis 16 times. The problem is 11% growth. You either think that this is BS and that they're going to be very proficient in 6G, or you think that this is just dead money and they're not really going to innovate. I don't know what to think. I think that they have put up a lot of profitability over a long time. The forward multiple sucks compared to profitability. Like 11% forward growth. For their profitability, I would like to see more. When I look at this, it's not hard to tell why NVIDIA and Broadcom are more exciting here on a forward basis. Jake Rizzo and Hollis cannot stop with the hair. I do not pump my hair full of olive oil, although I have been eating more olive oil lately. I've been going back to olive oil and bread. Love it, love it, love it. Who do I use for my data? I will show you right now. I use FMP. I am not sponsored by them. I pay for it out of my own pocket. I am getting my data from the same place that RBC Capital Markets, Franklin Templeton, Tip Ranks, KPMG, Harvard Business School, Perplexity. The same place that all of these companies get their data is where I'm getting my data from. That's where I get my data from. Kathy, what's going on? Nike new 52-week low. I was looking at it. I almost bought it. I have to deploy $100 this week in my dividend harvesting portfolio for Seeking Alpha. And I almost picked up Nike this morning. I am not sure if I'm going to. I am not sure. It is compelling. Livia, what's going on? You know, I thought the World Cup would do something with Nike also. It didn't. Okay. Who has a $23 price target on Nike? I need to know this. SNC, I'll bite. What sector? Energy? I have no idea. Which one? Why Nike? Because Nike is paying me a 4% dividend, so I'm actively thinking about it. It's taking up brain space in my mind. Nike may be overvalued. Absolutely. It could be a dying company. I don't know. You may be right about quantum. I'm in IBM and Alphabet. Those are my two quantum plays. Those are my two quantum plays. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a snapshot look. Wendy's, 784. It's coming down. In all seriousness, you guys are going to think I'm nuts, even though you already think I'm nuts. Maybe I buy Wendy's. Maybe I add Wendy's, a little Wendigal, to the dividend harvesting portfolio. I know it's up a ton today. I did not realize it's paying 9% on the dividend. Like, what the hell? Are they cutting the dividends? I'm going to have to go through the transcript and the earnings presentation. Like, how did this become a Wall Street bet thing? How? Man, we got some degenerates in here. I love it. Degenerates. Maybe I get on the degen train with you. I got the presentation open. Global sales declined. Project Fresh, okay. Man, I could go for a spicy chicken. I could legitimately go for a spicy chicken. Redirecting capital from U.S. development towards initiatives that drive profitable AVU growth. Returning cash to shareholders through quarterly dividend. Looks like they're not going to cut the dividend. That's not good. Invest in the business for growth, attractive dividend, strong balance sheet, excess cash to repurchase shares. I'll tell you what, we're joking about Wendy's. I don't know that we should joke about Wendy's. I promise you, I'm going to do the due diligence on it. I promise you I will do it. Maybe if this falls today and this sells off and the short interest stays the same, now I see why Wall Street Bets bid this up. Market cap of $1.5 billion. ROE of 130%. Jeez. ROIC 5%. Okay. What are we paying on the multiples? I didn't think the margins would be that good. You know what? Let's put it against McDonald's real quick. So I have, it's not a sector I follow, so I need a baseline of what I'm looking at. Okay. McDonald's margins are way better. Look at that. Way better. Okay. McDonald's margins are killing it. I am a McDonald's shareholder, by the way. I am a McDonald's shareholder. Wow, are these margins much better? Whoa, you're paying 3 times EBITDA for Wendy's? 6.7 times free cash flow. Whew. Talk about value. Why did I not know about this? Oh my God, why did I not know about this? We need to see the forward. Hold on. And Wendy's has 24% expected growth forward? What? I'm sorry, I'm not trolling you guys. I am not trolling you guys at all. I am shocked. I am shocked. Once again, Wendy's numbers, I want to see the visualization. They're really actually enticing me. I can't believe I'm considering buying it right now. I'm going to do some due diligence. I'm going to get back to everybody on Wendy's. Yeah, I saw the debt. It's not crazy. The debt's not crazy. Unless I looked at the wrong company. Wendy's has $300 million of cash on hand, and their long-term debt is $2.7 billion. I mean, $2.7 billion in debt, and the EBITDA is $500 billion. I mean, $500 million. Yeah, it's a little high to the EBITDA, but it's not crazy. So I'm not looking at total debt. I'm looking at long-term debt. Oh, man. Wendigales, something we got to really look at. I'm going to call my buddy Chris Patel and have him talk some sense into me and tell me, Steve, you're stupid. Stop. I'm beneficial. I will look into that. Oh, I'm a big ARCC fan, Salty. I'm a big ARCC fan. Big one. And if you like dividends, I wrote 2 articles yesterday. The first one is on AGNC Investment Group. It's a 14% dividend. It came out on Seeking Alpha. The other one, a newer ETF from Neos Investments, XQQI. Somebody put me onto it. 20% dividend yield. It is a play on QQQI. What price do you load up the truck? I mean, I don't know. I think Amazon's one of the biggest beneficiaries of AI. So personally, I'm very bullish Amazon. I think the market price makes no sense. I've beaten that drum so much. And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the markets are starting to go in fuego. Okay? In fuego. The Dow Jones is up 481. The NASDAQ is up 145. And the S&P is up 43. Oh. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. I got to tell you, SoFly is up 4%. Amazon 3%. SpaceX is 159. What is the stock draft website? It is thestockcombine.com. Salesforce 154.92. Broadcom 384. Listen, Google didn't make any sense where it was. Okay, I'm still a big fan, but I really do believe in Amazon a lot. I really do. Let's take a look at the stock draft. Let's see where we are. And if you didn't see the stock draft, you can actually watch it by clicking on this wonderful photo that we put out, or that I put out. Matty Boy is in first place, and I have fallen to fourth. Emit is in last. I got some pretty cool features. I mean, pretty cool features. We're doing it on a day-by-day basis on the season race. You know, I should get the date down here. Should get the date down there. Matty Moolah in the lead. Matty Moolah being helped out by SpaceX, Duolingo that I was making fun of. Is this a website? This actually is a website. Chelsea linked it. I'm putting it here. Thestockcombine.com. I turned it into a website for everybody. I don't know if I'm not making it into an app. I'm not sure. I am not sure. We'll see what happens. So we'll see. I'm glad that everybody likes the website and can follow along. That was the idea behind it, that I built something for all of you. All right, let's take a look at the legend. Wendigales, 776. It's up 24% today. Volume going crazy. I'm not buying it today, but you know what? If it sells off, I'm interested. I got to do my due diligence. The fact that this went up to 890 and this has fallen, such a big deal. This could be a great turnaround. We'll see. Uber up 7%, SoFly 4%, Wix 3.5%, Amazon 3%, Lululemon 2.76%. Nokia, 2.4%. Rubrik, 2.3%. But see all the NVIDIA flirting. NVIDIA's flirting, everybody. See what happens. All right. Rocket Lab is down under 90. Next Decade, 726. Ren, 52. Nebius, 261, ladies and gentlemen. Oil is back over 70. PM&R under 15. Oracle, 159. Qualcomm is under 200. Hood is 100. Ethereum getting smoked along with Bitcoin. Marvell does not get a Carvel cake. CoreWeave 103. Zeta 19. Whoa. Mike, thank you so much. And congratulations to everybody who got a membership. Mike, truly appreciate it. Thank you for the members. We do a members only stream on Sundays. And if I can fit it in, I'm going to be doing a second one every week. Palantir, 114. I think Palantir is in a very interesting position. I like Palantir here. I mean, I think it may have fallen too far too fast, and I think it's getting caught up in the SaaS trade. IBM 262, ServiceNow 95, Micron is down almost 1%. Micron is down almost 1%. Joni, thank you very much. Really appreciate it. Meta is green. Meta is green. Well, I'll tell you, I think that it's going to be back and forth today with Micron. We're heading into the earnings. I think they're going to be really good. I think they're going to beat and raise. I have no idea what they're going to do. I think they're going to beat and raise. Let's see. Am I going to stream all day? No. I am going to take a break. I got to get a few things done for 3:30. We are going to come back at 3:30 for the market close. We're going to start early. And we are going to do Micron. Matt is going to come on at some point. I sent the bat signal out to Chris. Chris may come on. We'll see. He hasn't responded. He could be sleeping. Sid, thank you very much. I really appreciate all the support. You guys are the best. I do this for all you. If you like the content, if you like and subscribe, it helps me out a great deal. Thank you. So here's where I see this. We're going to end it out on this thought when it comes to Micron. Micron has been mispriced for a long time. Some would say it's still mispriced. If we go just to Micron's chart and we look out over the past 5 years, this looks like a rocket ship. A lot of people have a hard time understanding that it can do this and sustain it. A lot of people think it should be down to 400 again, that this never should have happened. It was at 1240 and it sold off, okay? Ray, I can't steal every one of Amit's bits. Maybe I will come up with my own bit. Micron is an amazing company, ladies and gentlemen. And I want to be very clear on something. And I'm going to use Seeking Alpha's system for this. Tanner was 100% correct about something. Yeah, I bust Tanner's chops a bit. No question about it. He likes to sleep. He's got a mustache. He does a sauna every night. But you know what? He calls a lot of shit right. And He was very right on Micron. And now the analyst community is starting to fall in line because they upgraded August 2028 earnings. Now, I think that this is light. I think this is going to be more like 160. Okay. The fact that we are trading at 17 times this year's earnings and under 9 times forward, I think Micron is undervalued. I really do. We have huge revenue growth. This company is traditionally been looked at as a commodity because of chips. I don't know that is the way to look at Micron anymore. I really don't. List my Mag 7 in order? Sure, no problem. Give me a sec. So, my thought is they're expected to do $20.71 of EPS on 35 billion revenue. There have been 19 revisions upward. Everybody expects a blowout quarter today. Everybody. I think it's going to be a blowout quarter. We're going to find out together, okay? We're going to find out together. And we're going to end it on this. If I was buying new shares today, if I was not invested my own personal money, I would rank the Mag 7 as NVIDIA, Meta, Amazon, it's so hard. NVIDIA, Meta, Amazon, Microsoft, Alphabet, Apple, then Tesla. That's how I would rank them. That's how I would rank them. That's me. All right, everyone. I'm going to go get some lunch. I'm going to do some research for all of you. I will be back 3:30 on the dot. Be here or be square. You guys are the best. Thank you for all your support. You guys are seriously top notch. Thank you. If you're going to watch Tanner later, spam him with rainbows, please. We want rainbows across Tanner's chat. Tesla Granny, I'm looking forward to the conversion. Thank you, everybody. 3:30, I will be live. Have a great afternoon. Have a great nutritious lunch. Get your steps in so the step police does not get after you. And I'll see everybody in a few hours. Thank you so much. Have a great afternoon. Let's go, Micron.